Yeah, it's always to reference it on YouTube. Make sure it's like,
Yeah.
running okay.
Okay, cool. It tells me my view count, man, and let's see if this is actually live. Like I'm looking at my screen right now. Is it? Huh.
No worry, no worries. Let me see. I'm gonna write this to myself.
Let's see. It says it's offline. Hmm.
You have to go live with it, I think. So.
Hmm. You got
Oh,
4 people
shoot.
watching? What the heck? Huh. Do you see my stream on right now?
Well, I'm still finding it. Like, I'm still. Give me 1 second.
Oh, I can
What I have.
send you the link really quick. Dude, this is like, it says 4 people are watching, but that's
They're
pretty.
probably watching. I mean, I don't know. You can. Is there people
Hey,
like if
if
they're
there's
typing
people
in the
watching,
chat?
can somebody write in the chat really quick? I don't even know. This is so crazy. I love just like experimenting new things on YouTube, man.
Yeah, works. It works.
Let's-
Let's see.
Yo says Seta. Yeah, people are seeing it. You can see the comments in the bottom too.
Okay. Yeah, I just opened it on the laptop just to make sure that like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yo, Sutton, what's going on? Oh, whoops. I'm not supposed to be. Dude, you are supposed to be here. Today, I have a special guest.
Sweet.
I have the mother Zach Hing, man. Um, it's so crazy. I feel like, you know what's really crazy? Like, was it a month ago or a few months ago? You shamelessly plugged your, YouTube channel.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I subscribed, and I was like, either like, what number was I? Like 21, 22, 23, or somewhere in the 20s. And
Yeah.
now, like, your channel freaking blew up. It's like so crazy, man.
I know, dude. It's unbelievable. You know, you were again one of the first people that like started the momentum. I was just like, I'd been watching you for a while. I was like, oh, he's doing a live stream. I'm
Yeah.
gonna like shamelessly plug. But I also contributed. You were talking about like t-shirts, like refugee hustle t-shirts. I think.
Yeah,
I
shameless
think that was
plug.
like 4 or 5 Sundays ago.
Yeah, that was quite a while ago, man. Dude, how many subscribers are you at now?
28,500, something like that. It's slowing down a bit, but it's good. It's a good start. You know, it's a good momentum in the beginning.
Yeah. Like, how far along your YouTube journey did you, like, start getting a lot of traction?
Ooh, like I think first week of August, I'd say. Like so just like a month ago when I released like a couple of viral videos that were pretty polarizing, and then like as a result it just kind of took from there self momentum. Like again, I don't know what happened. It just started getting shared around and recommended to people, and like just a ton of engagement. And then I think that was also like some shout outs, and also some like interview conversations with other people on like, you know, their podcasts or live casts. And that's what, you know, like that's the crazy thing is nothing's changed really. Like even you arguably say my video production has gone down since, because there's no like background music, there's no real like titles. Yeah, which is
Your
like,
shit is so funny because it's like this like downward angle type of thing. It's not like
yeah,
visually like appealing, but yo, it's like different, man.
hilarious. No, I appreciate that. I mean, like, I'm trying to obviously go. Oops. Wow.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Kicked my computer. Yeah, it's just something that I think was unintentional. Like, I mean, I wanted to compose the picture a little bit different. Oh, cool. We got some people on the Discord
shit,
server.
We got hella people in here now. 11
Yeah,
people right now. It's starting to warm up, son. Shit.
Hi guys. Hey, for all of you people who know me, check out Kevin Yee. Kevin Yee is one of the original like YouTubers that like I messaged and have been following. He's also a super cool entrepreneur, real down to earth dude. So check out his content. Just a real quick plug. But yeah, all right, talking. But yeah, the camera angle was just like a unintentional thing, and then like I guess like it was kind of weird because it's like upwards and it's like my legs are here, and it feels very like people. Like all kinds of funny comments, like Asian squat, like are you sitting on the toilet? You want to exercise? Yeah.
So funny, man. Like how did you go about like, yo, choosing that angle? Your like first video where you're just like, whatever, I'm just gonna put it on the ground and just shoot it.
Yeah. It was literally just that. Again, just kind of like I'm gonna try something different, because prior to that I had made videos right here at this desk. Like I put the camera right here, and it's like, you know, just the background of my apartment. And I was like, all right, I'm just gonna plop it on the floor and like sit on the edge of my bed because it was more about like the positioning of it. I find that like read and when I do a lot of thinking, I would sit like at the edge of my bed and like do that. Or if I was praying or meditating or whatever, I would do that. And I was like, okay, I'm really relaxed in this position. I'm just gonna like put the camera up. So what would it feel like if I just started speaking? Because that's the thing is like, it just felt really like relaxed. And it's not like to talk down to the camera. It was just very like, okay, opposed, like very like back. It's supposed to feel like I'm talking straight to you, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess it was, that was the deal.
Yeah. And
But
I watched like a few, like I watched actually a lot of your videos, and I think that's why it kind of blew up, because like the way you talk is like, I feel like you're just like talking directly to me, you know, rather than just like, hey, what up guys today? Like, what up YouTube fam? Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
No, it's like a one-on-one conversation.
it's a one-on-one.
Like.
Yeah. Thanks, dude. I appreciate that. And again, I can't get with that. YouTube is already like plenty saturated with like too much of that.
Yeah.
So let's just go against the grain and try something else. You know, I'm not a writer. I'm not a hype man. So like, no, none of that. Like those titles where it's just like, she took everything. You know, I'm not gonna do things like that. Like, yeah, it's like very, very like, okay, because that's what like, it's clickbait, you know, that's what gets attention. It's like, oh my God, what happened?
Yeah.
It's so dramatic. Like,
yeah. No, but I think it's really cool to just have like a really chill channel where you're just like expressing how you think, man. That's awesome.
Thanks.
Like, I guess, what made you want to do YouTube from the beginning, man?
Well, I've been on YouTube, like I said, like 10 years. You know, I obviously was on it when it became a thing, 2008. Of course, I was a younger kid then, but like, I always wanted to like connect with people, make videos, and like, I mean, I would put music, I would put like videos of me doing music on there. I would put videos of me like doing some film work. So I had a bunch of different things that I tried before then. And then I was just like, you know what? Maybe it's just time to tell stories, time to talk about my experience. And then that's what it started as for this channel. And then slowly it like, progressed into more like social commentary and political commentary. I started to talk a little bit of like my first video that I came back with on YouTube was the affirmation video, which was already like more political. Yeah. But then I had some other videos like, oh, I'm Tindering, or I'm drawing, or I'm like telling a story about napping at work, or what, like really random stuff that is just like, if I'm going to put out videos every day, I'm going to get precious about it. I'm just going to do it because you have to do it because it's a daily goal.
Yeah.
I didn't think much about it in the beginning, and then it just kind of started to take on a life of it. So,
I see, dude. Are people seeing? Can you see the comments, by the way, Zach?
Yeah, I can see some of them.
You can see the comments. I don't know why it's not like broadcasting on my end for some reason, but whatever.
Oh,
that's cool.
Yeah,
that's awesome, man. Oh, dude. So unreal, like, dude. So for y'all that don't know, actually, like, literally, like 3 hours ago, I was like, "Hey Zach, you want to just hop on stream? Let's try something new, man." And I'm just like literally trying to figure out how to like bring guests on my channel and stuff like that, and just do a live stream, man.
Yeah, I'm happy to be part of the inaugural Kevin Yee Sunday live stream, because usually it's just you talking, like you'll just talking for a bit and like give people tips on like entrepreneurship and like lifestyle, which is great. Like, I mean, for the few people that tune in, do your followers know that you do this regularly? I feel like they do, right?
Yeah, because I pretty much do it around this time every single week, over and over again. But I'm not gonna lie, to me, like, I'm more of a social extrovert. So, I mean, as fun as it is listening to myself talk for like an hour, man, I just rather have an engaging like conversation with someone and just talk about stuff. You know, I think that's where I really shine. And then I guess I don't know, man. Like all of a sudden, I was like, dude, this. For some reason, the recent streams haven't been really fun for me, to be honest with you. And I was just like, bro, I just wanna promote other people, just talk to other people, man. And we had we talked yesterday. We had a really good conversation. So I was just like, yo, Zach would be a great guest on my channel, man. Gave you a sub, Zach. Oh man.
Thank you.
Yo, for y'all that aren't following Zach, go check out Zach's channel. See if it's your thing. Yeah, join the Zach Hing Discord. Yeah, so what's with this whole Discord thing, man? I haven't checked out your Discord. I've only checked out
dude, so I only became aware of it because subscribers who are probably watching right now did it out, and they were like, dude, you should start a Discord, and it's used typically for like gamers and stuff, but it's like think of it like a messaging app / like message boards voice channel that you can like interact with people on, like kind of like a live forum.
Yeah.
And like, people kind of got me turned on to it. Like I don't run it. A dude named Kevin and actually this person who's also in the chat, Starry-Eyed Char, OMEON. These guys are like Discord people. Like they're always on there and they're really great for moderating and like starting conversations. The whole point of it was to like get people who were liking my videos, or not liking, but agree and disagree with my videos to just have conversations off platform. Because like YouTube comment sections are great, but like they're not ideal. They're not. They're not good for conversation. So I'm like, all right, let's move this to the Discord server. And like, it's been great. There's like 700 plus people on there. Just like, not everyone's active, but like there's always a good 50 or so people like talking back and forth. And I'm glad that some of these people stick by me, and I try to jump on at least once or twice a week when I can, when I have time, when I'm not making videos, and we'll just like talk for a little bit. But you know, dude, like at the end of this call, I'll send you a link and you can check it out. It's just good fun. Like it's very like, I don't run it. There's another dude that runs it, Kevin, and he customizes it and has done a lot of good stuff with it. So
that's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love this. I use Discord for HTC all the time. So yeah, that's how we actually talk. And like, dude, half the time,
sweet. Yeah.
So I use it. I'm familiar with it and stuff like that. So do you get like a lot of lurkers, like people just like listening to the conversations? They don't really say anything, or like how does it work out? I guess. You know?
I would have to imagine that. Yeah. I mean, like right now I'm looking on here, and there's like at least 50 people online now.
Yeah.
Oh, more than that. There's almost 100 people online right now. And a lot of these people don't see their names pop up very often. So I would assume that they're just kind of online and they watch, which is like cool. But like the thing is, I think, yeah, no, I'm kind of looking at it. I think like some people will lurk and they'll talk a little bit, and some people will contribute. There's active contributors on the Discord server. And there's also just some people that are just there to listen, and that's okay. Either is fine. You know, yeah, it's all good. Like, there are people obviously that will disagree with some of the things I'm talking about, but that's okay. The whole point of it is to encourage civilized discussion, and I'm glad that there's good moderators that keep it civil so it doesn't get out of hand. And to answer your question, yeah, it's like we have like a hierarchy system, so it's like the more you message, you can move up and level stuff, and it's like I didn't set that up, but that's cool that you can like do that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, like but it also gives people the incentive to like stay on a cool server. Like, you know, it gives you like something to words. It's not just like whatever. Yeah. There's like other channels where you can put memes in, share music, share art. Like, yeah. So
it's very dope. Like, dude, I really respect you, like really promoting more conversation, especially like recently. I don't know. I'm not a very political type of person, but it really bothers me when I see so many people just like trying to silence others. You know, I think like what you're doing is something great, like really promoting discussion, you know, civilized discussion, man. About it.
Yeah, thanks, dude. Yeah. No, I try to do the best I can, but I'm glad that we're also talking, you know, and it would be really cool. Let's like try to like I
got downvote for that just now.
Down? Why did you get a down?
Somebody hit a thumbs down just now, man. This is so cool. I can see how, but yeah, so it looks like I have 2 thumbs up and one down, thumbs down, man. But anyways, what are you saying? Sorry, I interrupted.
No, I mean like about thumbs down. I don't know if that can be helped. There are people on the Discord server that like my stuff, but I know there's a solid few people who don't, and there are going to be people like that might be my fault, but can't be helped. It's the internet.
It's all good, dude. Yeah. So like, how like do you get since your content's kind of polarizing and whatnot? Do you get like a lot of haters and stuff? And how do you deal with it if you do?
I get a lot of haters. I don't really know if they're real haters though. Like, I mean, there's haters that will like continuously bombard you with messages, and then there's haters that just kind of are passing by. So I think, but the only thing that I can do is not engage with every single person. For people who approach it like, you know, in a civilized manner, in a healthy manner, I'm more than happy to talk about it. Yeah. But like, you know, if you're just going to come on here to criticize me with real good reasons to do so, or, you know, attack me with ad hominem insults, it's like, yeah, I don't really think that this is worth engaging in. I mean, there's really no point. Yeah. So it's more of just like, yeah, I'm just gonna, you know, ignore it and proceed with what I'm doing. I mean, at the end, it has no bearing on what I am doing, and it's not constructive in any way. I don't really see how we can move forward with it. It's okay to disagree with me. As a matter of fact, I encourage people who disagree to talk about why we disagree. And some of the best conversations I've had are with people who agree with me only say 50 to 60%, and then the other 40% we end up talking about. But the fact that we respect each other with common ground is great, and we can go from there. So, to deal with the haters, like I don't deal with them.
Yeah.
I deal with them if there's not really anything to talk about. So
That's true. Yeah, man. That's pretty cool. I mean, how do you come up with like content for your channel too?
I get recommendations from subscribers. I also have a lot of, I'm always reading, so I like thinking about different concepts. I'm in the middle of reading 12 Rules for Life, Jordan Peterson, and I read like a couple of books at the same time, and then like, cause sometimes like I'll, yeah, dude, you have it?
Edfo chapter 4, man.
No
chapter
way.
Chapter 4, bro.
Guys, Kevin Yee right here is a Jordan B. Peterson guy, but he's not, this is going on live stream, dude. I don't know, what will your followers think? It's whatever. He's great.
Care. Like, dude. Like, half my videos, you can see my bookcase, dude. I read a shit ton, man. So.
Yeah. That's awesome. No, so there we go. I'm in the middle of that book right now. I'm also reading, another book called The Machinery of Freedom by David Friedman, who's an economist. And then I'm also reading a Thomas Sowell book, Discrimination and Disparities. So I'm kind of balancing the three out. And, that's where I get some of my ideas from, but it also comes from like, what is in the news, what just happened. Maybe sometimes it's a response to something that's cultural or political. I feel like there's like never anything you can't talk about. It's just like, what do you feel like talking about? And that's usually hard. And like, I'm trying to become a little bit more composed. So what I'll end up doing is like, prepare like 2 or 3 talking points and then just talk about it, Again, I'm not a reporter. I'm not one of those people that pulls up like the article and the video and it's just like, hey, this is wrong. I'm not.
You're not Philip DeFranco.
No, I'm not. And I'm not also to like troll anybody who's wrong. Like I don't like to do response videos to other people. Like I know what's popular on YouTube now is just like to take other people's videos and then like bash them, like say why this sucks, why they're wrong. And it's like, okay, like, I mean, don't you think there's more productive things you could be doing than saying, this woman is a piece of shit, never gonna get anywhere. And it's like, you may not agree. Like, I mean, there's a bunch of these like very like hateful channels that are just like, all you do is like troll people, man. Like, okay, how's that help? But anyways, that's just the nature of it. That's where I'm at. That's how I come up with ideas. But like for the people watching, Kevin, why don't you tell them a bit more about you? Let's hear more about what in the life of Kevin Yee and what he does on a daily basis.
I'm freaking interviewed right now on my own
It's a conversation.
Channel. Yeah. No. Dude, I don't know, man. Like it's really crazy. Like I was telling you yesterday, my business is really growing, and I was telling you like I'm not sure if it was you or if it was someone else yesterday. But it's like being an entrepreneur right now feels like I'm drinking out of a fire hose. Like, dude, shit is going so freaking quick. Like, there's days where like I'm at my highest highs, and there's days where I'm at my lowest lows. And I think like, recently I've been thinking about what do I really want to talk about on my channel, because like I started off as like a very pharmacy type of channel, but as I'm transitioning like out of pharmacy, those sort of topics aren't as relatable to me anymore. And I've just been like honestly, I've been kind of lost with content, and I'm just thinking about, well, fuck it. Why don't I just document my my journey from pharmacist into entrepreneur, man, and just go that way. Yeah.
I think you're a few channels that really touches on a lot of the ins and outs of something that's actually pretty lucrative, something that's like pretty, what most people would expect to be like this. And I like that you're honest about it and you explain it really, really. The nice thing also is that it's not just like an echo chamber for pharmacy. You brought on people like Brian, who I also watch, and like Angela. And obviously everyone loves Angela. I see like all your stars, they want Angela back. Like bring Angela back and bring Dr. Angela back. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's kind of hard though too. It's just like as we get older, dude, like I think people are more and more like kind of not, I wouldn't say reluctant, but it's kind of like I feel like sometimes there's kind of a danger to kind of share what exactly you're thinking or your opinions on something. Like a lot of pharmacists are very conservative and they don't like especially with my channel, it's very polarizing. Like I don't know if you know this, Zach, but in my like in pharmacy, if you don't like it, it's pretty taboo. And if you're open about not liking pharmacy, that's even worse, So it's kind of hard these days. It's just like, you know, I want to bring Angela back, but I'm also looking out for her well-being too. Like, I don't want to like hurt any of my friends' careers or anything like that. You know what I mean? I think that's like the fine balance that I'm having right now.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that what you're doing is truly great. As a matter of fact, somebody I know personally was asking literally about like pharmacy and physician's assistant and like stuff like that, and I was like, oh, go check out this guy, like, and watch a couple of those videos, like, because like I'm in like HR, so people think that like like I know a lot about jobs or anything, but I don't know about the specialization of specific jobs. Like I can't tell you. I can tell you from like what I look for from like a hiring standpoint,
Yeah.
but I can't tell you like what careers or what. We're not experts. In fact, your guidance counselor, the HR person, we're not career experts. You have to like talk to somebody who has been in it, who is still in it, or has been burned by it, and they'll give you good sound advice. I mean, like that kind of experience is always great because like too often, like how this has happened to you too. Like a lot of young people will say, hey, should I do pharmacy? Should I not do it? What people don't realize is that like all the information that you think, like all the answers that you want to get, they're quite literally on the internet. Like what are the most common questions for a young person? How much money do you make? Where can you, how easy is it to get a job? Like stuff like that, dude. Google search it. Those Quora answers are going to be better than my answers. But if you really want like a story, if you really want to hear like, okay, here's your expectations. Let me tell you realistically this.
Yeah.
It took me 90 days to secure a position. It took me this long to even get some respect. Oh, by the way, the customers treated me like crap. Like stuff like that you're not going to get. Right? You're only going to get that from someone who's been in it.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
it's like really rich in information. And then you can go like, okay, I see how it is, and maybe my personality, with times that doesn't get taken into account, is gonna affect my overall satisfaction of the job. Like some people like will say sales is the worst job ever, and then like you bring in a guy who's like high energy and so positive. He's like, dude, I'm making more money than anybody I know, and like I don't think it sucks.
Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to say. Like you can't find that stuff out until you. So
yeah,
you're definitely a.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like half the time I get all these like these Quora questions and stuff, and I'm just like, well, you know, I could answer them, but you're right. You can go online, do a Google search, you'll find a better answer out there. And I think like the real value of my channel is just like, dude, I just give you my experience. I try to bring on other guests that are open about their experiences, and it's like really at the end of the day, it's really not my place to be like, yo, pharmacy is for you. You should go into it 100%. That's like what I try to do is just like, I just bring all my experiences and let you decide, man. You know, and it's pretty interesting. I talk to a lot of my viewers, my fans and stuff, and a lot, like some of them are like, no, I don't want to do pharmacy anymore. Thank you. And then I get the other side of the spectrum where they're like, Kevin, I really want to do pharmacy thanks to you. And I'm like, what the heck? I get like two ends of the spectrum, but I get a thank you no matter what. One of the best.
Yeah. No, totally. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, like, what about like just overall with pharmacy? Like, is it something you did a video that I really enjoyed? I wanted to ask you about it. It was like you were visiting one of your friends' like pharmacies that she just opened or something.
Yeah.
One of my questions was like, is it going to make your life more easier? And that's not a good question, but does your life become more in your control when you decide to be more entrepreneurial with pharmacy, like opening your own pharmacy, or are you forever going to necessarily contracted through like bigger pharmaceutical companies or like CVS or Walgreens or all that? Like, what I'm trying to say is like your friend looked like she was very happy to open up that pharmacy.
Yeah.
From your perspective, does that give you more, and does that alleviate more of the stress that you think you would have traditionally facing pharmacy, or does that make worse? I mean,
I think like the workload and all that sort of stuff definitely tremendously goes up, right?
Because you're running your own business.
Yeah, you're running your own business. You have to like usually behind the scenes, like corporate takes a lot of the work and does it for you, right? But if you're starting your own pharmacy, there's a lot more work. But I think there's that sense of, it's kind of like buying a house, right? Like there's that sense of, like for a lot of people, they want to buy a house for that sense of ownership, right? But then I talk to all my homeowner friends, and half their time they're just fixing up their house. It's a lot more work, but a lot of them feel like it's worth it. To me, it's not worth it, but to them, it's like they love doing it because they feel like they're investing it into themselves, you know? So I think it's kind of like that type of feeling.
Yeah, I literally just a couple days ago, actually, yeah, a couple days ago, I was going through some of your videos again and watching, and there was that really funny video of Angela's house or
Yeah.
something, like an MTV Cribs episode
Yeah,
where
yeah.
it's just like super lit, and then she like opens the garage and it's like a Porsche, just like what?
That
What?
shit, okay, I'll tell you guys this, like, that shit was
Whoa.
100%, like, that was, like, on the spot. I did not know that she had a Porsche.
I
That
know,
was, like,
I
my
wasn't
genuine
sure either.
reaction.
I saw a comment where it was like, oh, yeah, she has in her garage. I'm like, yeah, right, whatever. And I didn't, because that video is like 20 minutes long, and it was like,
Yeah.
I think like 11 or 12 minutes in.
Yeah.
And then you guys go to the garage, and I'm like, there's a full like brand new Porsche in the garage. Like, whoa.
So freaking crazy, man. I was like laughing so hard. I was like, no fucking way. She was like, you want to ride shotgun? I was like, hell yeah, I do. I would want to drive it, to be honest with you, but you know, I'll take shotgun, whatever.
Yeah, dude, you could, I mean, like, those are your, like, super popular videos, so no doubt I watched them, and it's like,
Yeah.
Angela has such an interesting, like, life. I guess,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not all that it's cooked up to be, of course.
Of course.
You know, I'm aware of that, but it's also just like, dude, like, that's really cool. I wonder, what the experiences are like, you know, what is it like now? I know last I saw the video, it sounds like I think she's still like dating or still doing stuff like that. It's just like, you know, like all of us are curious because like she's so candid. That's what I loved also about the videos. Like she was open to saying things like, you know what, I'm like 30 and like I started to freak out. Like that was such a real video. It wasn't like one of those fake Jubilee videos where the girl's just like, you know, men. I need a man. It's like, it was like, no, it was really sincere and it was refreshing. I was like, oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I always tell Angela this, like, but she never believes me. I tell her that, dude, you could run a way more successful YouTube channel than mine, dude. Like, you would fucking kill it. Like, dude.
Angela would have to only make a video a week for like 2 months and it would explode. Like, I'll call it right now. If you tell her, like, Angela, New Year's resolution, like, start a YouTube channel and just do it for 8 weeks, it will 100%.
For sure, like, dude. Like, well, she's a pretty girl, but she's also very candid and honest, right? Like,
really.
When I shoot with her, dude, you know, some people, like, when you shoot with, it's kind of awkward. They're scared of the camera, dude. Right away, we didn't need to adapt at all. Like, dude, she just like talks so candidly. She's so natural in front of the camera. She doesn't have those uhs and ums and like those random tics that I have. But yeah, man, it's like it's really. I'm just like, man, Angela, you have this opportunity, but sometimes people just want to take the leap of faith or put in the work for it. And that's
no, I mean, it's only if she wants to. If she has no desire to do it, but if she has even just the slightest inkling of, you know what, give this a shot, then it's like, okay, yeah, in 2 months you'll have like 100,000 subscribers. Like it's just,
dude, no doubt. Like, dude, that video,
like with that crib, like I'm not gonna. Okay, like I know YouTube is not about like superficiality, like with house and cars and stuff. She's got a Porsche.
Yeah.
She's got a house like that. Like, so YouTube friendly. Like, let's just be real here for a second. Like, all you do is like set up a camera like in that Porsche or like just, you know, like, hey guys, I'm a successful pharmacist and you know, this is a day in my life. Like, dude, you don't need an television con. You have one in your house. You have one like on the internet.
Yeah.
And all it would take 2 or 3 shout outs from people like you or me and it would just like, you know what I mean?
She doesn't even need a shout out, man. Like I just handle her SEO and like her shit will like, pew, like it's fucking crazy, man. Like she can clickbait really easily. Like, dude, it's really easy, man, for her.
It'd be really funny if she was watching this. She watched this afterwards. But anyways,
she probably won't. She doesn't watch that much YouTube actually. She's actually not that surprisingly, she's not that social media like savvy actually. Doesn't use Facebook, doesn't use any of that stuff at all. So,
in my opinion, that's probably a good thing.
Yeah. Do you think it's easier like for these platforms like YouTube, Instagram, and all that sort of stuff for women? Do you think it's a lot easier as a female?
Without sounding overly, you know, chauvinist, I think so. Yeah. I just think that like, I mean, I can't ignore some of the trends. Like, you know, it's like if you are this is where like it's like if you're a woman and like you're attractive and you're candid and you're passionate.
Yeah.
I mean, like let's just be real here. It's a lot more friendly to you when it comes to an audience. I don't think that really has anything to do with the fact that people just want to see more women.
Yeah.
But I just like the idea that we live in where it's just like all you have to do is put up a couple of things and also show that you're sincere. Like that goes such a long way. And I don't know why that is. I mean, like I know why, but I don't want to say the reason why is because, oh, it's just because of your looks. Because I think that there's a little bit more to that. You know, I think that in order to keep it going, there's some degree, there has to be a degree of consistency and work ethic. And it's like, if you can find that and you're already really talented and attractive, it's like, I don't really think you have to worry about. Now, obviously, I read a lot of like content as it pertains to like male and gender dynamics. I mean, like we live in a feminized society, dude. Like it's in your favor. It really is. Like if you're an attractive woman, and forgive me for if some viewers think I'm sounding old-fashioned, you have it made. Like you can just go on the internet and like 100 people, men and women alike, some of them are thirsty, some of them are sincere, are going to follow you. It's just like, it's true. That's all I have to say. It's like, I can notice from observation, there might be sociologists that have better answers for that, but you have it. Like, you know, it's the internet.
I think there's something about like feminine energy too, which makes you feel like a lot more open to relating or being vulnerable or something. Like, sure, the good looks might it's just like copywriting, right? A good headline will get the reader to read the next line. It's just like good looks will just get viewers to watch more of your content, right? And let's be honest, there's a lot of like pretty girls on like Instagram and YouTube, but what at the end of the day, what really sets them apart? And I really think it's like more, like with that Angela video, my highest like viewed video, it was just that she was so genuine and she was so vulnerable and like people just really related. And you know what's so funny? There's a lot of guys who like fucking try to shit on her. It's so crazy. I looked at the stats for that video. 80% guys, man. 80% guys watch that video. And like, dude, most of the comments are just fucking harassing the shit out of her, man. It's so crazy, man.
That's unfortunate, but dude, I'm also not surprised. It's the internet. And I think like Instagram is a very different social media platform to YouTube because Instagram is like picture, you know, and like, it's the medium of it is different. So it's like, it's more about looks, so the attraction. Whereas like with YouTube, I think you do need some substance. So I don't think that looks take you. Look at some of the biggest YouTubers, right? Even some of these gamers. Like, let's be real here. They're not the most fly attractive dudes on the planet, but they're authentic. Like they can, like, these guys are not attractive. I'm just going to call it as it is. Like not in the tradition. They're not traditionally handsome, but they garner millions of views and millions of subscribers, both men and women alike, because with video and like with whatever it is you're trying to convey, it's so much more than how you look. Like it's like part of the reason why, like, I don't know, Boogie2980 is so popular is because he's real. Like he's a gamer, you know, and he's entertaining. It's not because he's a big overweight, you know, he had almost died a couple of times too. I've been following that guy for years, right? He's one of those rich YouTubers. And it's like, that guy's real, you know, he talks about his like, his, you know, near-death experience, his divorce, like, you know, he's been over for so many years and he almost died, like though that's what kind of like, I mean, there's an authenticity factor to that like goes beyond like Instagram, because it's like the attention span is longer, there's more substance there, like you're not really gonna get by because of your looks or because of what people see at face value. You have 10 minutes to talk and get someone's attention, and like it's another deal.
Yeah, plus like when you like open up, you're right, the platforms are so different. Like even Facebook, Instagram, those I feel like those are more catered toward like short content, like short attention span. When you go on Facebook, you're not looking to watch like full like 10-minute, 20-minute, 30-minute videos. With YouTube, you can do that. People are more primed for that, right? So.
Yeah, and the nice thing about YouTube is that it's an ages platform. Like my second biggest audience or demographic are actually, believe it or not, people between the ages like 40 and 65. So there's a huge, dude, YouTube is all ages. People think it's like, oh, like millions of just kids. It's not. It's actually more so than Instagram. It's like, it's pretty spread out. So like the viewership from just an older audience alone. And let's not forget too that it's like that plus like all over the world, right? So like YouTube is just like, think of it as like an end all. It's not because it's technology. Old people don't use it. Like I know older people that subscribe more to YouTube than like traditional TV just because they've got so fed up with like CNN or whatever. They're like, all right, this is horrible news, I'm just going to go on YouTube. And a lot of people, their primary source of news is YouTube. Like, that's fascinating to me. You know? There's more watch time in minutes on YouTube, all the traditional cable network television stations combined. Like, that's a true thing. Yeah. So it's like, what does that tell you about people? They're on YouTube more than they're on TV.
Do you think that trend has like gone up, especially after like the recent election and stuff like that?
I think that it has kind of made people go and examine other people's opinions, because I think with the advent of tribalism and people really becoming strong about their views, I mean, what other to really dig into that than go to YouTube and see who else has talked about this, right? Because where else are you going to go for that? On top of that, like, people have also become sick of like the same type of thing. Like, go on TV, everything is kind of like the same gist with progressivism or like what's in right now. That like with conservative news, you only really have like Fox News, but you don't have conservative or more like not PC like comedy. You just don't. You don't have that on Comedy Central anymore. People like Chappelle and like Chris Rock don't do stand up the way they used to, because I don't think people would like it, because it's not politically. Can you imagine Chris Rock doing what he did 20 years ago, doing that today? Like 20 years, hilarious. People like, so funny, and it's so real. It's funny. I watched like old Dave Chappelle special on like women or whatever, and I'm like, he could not say that today, even though it's more true today than it probably was then. It's just like, you can't say that stuff now. I mean, you could. You would just be roasted for it. Like, you get the end of your career. Dude, that's the reality.
I know. It's just like, dude, I watched some of the old Dave Chappelle stuff and like the gay KKK like skit and all that sort of shit. Like, it definitely would not fly today. And it's just like, wow. Because for me, I'm not like really into politics and stuff like that. And like, it's just so crazy. Like, I don't know. Just for me, it just like seemed like overnight, and everybody started getting outraged about everything. Just like, what the heck happened? You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, totally. And I think that's what the next step is going to be is, right now we are at a time now where it's like you can really make your own form, your own channel. There's so many different platforms that you can do that on, and people are doing it in ways that are also beyond YouTube. Like, there's people that have like podcasts are a big thing now, on different platforms. People will blog. People will talk, and it's interesting because maybe I'm only about people I know, but also from like my subscribers and my viewers, I found that a lot of people are really just seeking things that are different. Like, how many people do you know really watch TV? I'm not saying people don't. There's a whole group of millions of people that still watch TV, but a lot of people also don't. So not to discredit a bunch of people that do, but when you have a solid like 50% that don't, like, that's a huge amount of people, and they're looking elsewhere for information and for entertainment. So
like, just curious, where do you go for your news and media for the most part?
Well, like, I'm subscribed to a couple of different outlets. So like, I still
Infowars.
All the conspiracy theories are the real news. No, like, obviously, like, I'll look at Fox News, and I'll look at like CRTV, which is like some of the more like, conservative news networks. And then I'll also look at like other sources like The Atlantic. I also pay attention. I know it's also not the best source. I still will look at like BBC and like CNN to a degree, but it's like I'll look at them, and then I'll formulate my own opinions after I've looked at a bunch of different stuff. Like, and then I'll also like see what other people have thought. Like, I'm just going to be honest for a second. Like, I'll see why people think the way they do, and then see what the real deal is here, and then go look at it, and then see an opinion. But here's also the other thing. I don't claim to know a lot of things. A lot of the news updates that I'll get, like, sometimes you can't just look at conservative news media because you're not going to hear everything as well. I mean, you'll hear things that maybe you want to hear more so, and there may be more facts to it because it's more, it's definitely more, I would like to think it's more rooted in facts, but you have to also look at like I wouldn't hear anybody talk about like the CNN, I didn't hear anybody like, at least in conservative media, talking about like the typhoon that's headed to Hong Kong. You know what I mean? Like you have to like, survived. Yeah. It's like I still have to find out that there's like the whole 80% of the rest of the world that's not going to be covered by domestic news. And you sometimes have to go to like CNN or whatever, BBC, to like find out like, oh, there's other stuff going on right now. So.
Yeah, man, it's pretty funny. Like I'm thinking about how much TV I used to watch back in the day. Like when I was a kid, I used to be almost glued in front of the TV all the time. And I think about now, dude, I never watch TV. I get all my news from like pretty bad. I don't even watch like I try not even to get news. Like the only news sources I have is like Philip DeFranco, which is really bad, and I hear shit from Joe
That's
Rogan.
great, dude.
Those are the only two things I like find out
Uh-oh.
about shit, man. Or whatever's trending on like YouTube and stuff where people are pissed off about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you. You know what? I'm glad you're honest about that because truthfully, a lot of people are also like that. It's like I don't think that really any one person's fault because like how much is really being given to you and you have access to. I mean, you have it, but you also have to like go searching for news if you want news. You know, it's not just gonna like, and it's like if you go on Facebook and you only get certain updates, well, it's not going to be the most sound. It's not going to be like it's not going to be the best form it comes in because it might have bias. You know, it's like somebody else has a comment about it. It's like, okay.
Yeah, and you're mentioning like Facebook and stuff. It's getting like, to me, it's kind of really scary. This like whole like what happened to Alex Jones and all this like censorship right now. It's really scary. If you have like a opposing opinion, you're immediately silenced. And given like, okay, it's their own company, they can do whatever they want, but knowing that they have so much power now, it's just like, wow. Like it makes me like kind of question what would get me kicked, like hypothetically, what would get me like kicked off of these platforms, man, for my opinions?
Yeah, I mean, it depends if you are more loud with it. Like, I don't know, have you faced any kind of real demonetization on any of your videos?
Dude, for a while, like all my pharmacy still a lot of my pharmacy videos, like they demonetized that because that search term, pharmacy, they automatically assume that it was like illicit, like drugs and shit. I'm just like, oh my god.
Or Martin Shkreli, you know what I mean? Ties to Martin Shkreli. I can imagine that being the case. I mean, like, dude, I know people, it's not just politics, right wing or conservative stuff. It's like people who also talk about like pill and like MGTOW, incels, like things like that, and like, or gun. Even there were a bunch of gun channels that are completely benign. It's just like people talking about guns, you know, how to safely handle it. Those became demonetized. Yeah. And even also like if you talk about like religion, not like Christianity, like, and you know what the progressive left tries to defend, like Islam, like even just talking about Islam is like not gonna get your video, regardless of what your views are. It's just it's the buzzword that's like the one way ticket to just like getting yourself banned, getting yourself demonetized. Like, it's a lot of things.
It's kind of funny to see some of these like channels, like they move to like platforms like Pornhub and stuff because those are only places where they're safe nowadays. You know. Have you heard about that?
A little extreme, but no, I didn't. No? I mean, okay. I would not be that surprised if that was the case. Yeah. That's freaking funny. Like the fact when you said that, like I think it was yesterday, I was like, dude, what? That's hella.
Yeah, it's so funny. I think I heard on like JK News or something a while ago. But yeah, so random, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me ask you. So right now you're in the Bay Area, right?
Mm-hmm.
How's dating life there, man?
Dating, dude, I'm glad we're gonna talk about this because this is fun. This is what people want to hear about. Yeah. Now, dating is what you make of it, 100%. And like, I know there's a lot of people that are gonna complain, like, dude, Bay Area dating sucks, people flake. All of that's extremely true, but it also depends on how you're looking for it. Like, for example, if I'm on like Tinder or whatever, expect it to be like hit or miss. But that's the odds. And it's not because I'm necessarily Asian. It's just because that's the nature of the app. And plus, being in the Bay Area, people are busy with their jobs or working. They have to get by, pay their rents and everything. So expect there to be also a degree of non-commitment, which, to be honest, is completely fair because I don't expect anything serious from Tinder as well. Like, so Tinder is like the one thing that I think like, obviously, I don't use it anymore. I'm off of it. I'm just trying to focus on myself right now. I'm not really actively dating, but when I found that I had the best success in like going out and going and mingling in places where I was finding like-minded people. Like, it's kind of scary, but I'll be real with you. Like, I've become more like confident in myself. I've definitely developed my confidence and everything. So I know what will work and what works for me. So being what works for me is like going to places where I know I'm not going to meet the same type of girl. Like, you know, so it's like, in a weird way, it's like, I went to a talk or I went to like a networking thing and just like, you know, kidded off with, you know, a couple of girls that I really liked and I thought that they were very interesting and we was from there. And it's also just the aspect of like well, it just happened. And I still am a firm believer in the whole real interaction. Like I've flat out gone and approached women that like in public and just like, started a conversation just because I thought they were attractive or I thought they looked intriguing and gone from there. But to answer your question, like date is like, it depends on how you look at it. So it's like, if I wanted to go out and meet people in my circles, great, because they're going to be interested in the same things. We're going to level for a second. No, bad luck. And like, honestly, it's like you have to like put yourself out there a lot. And I think that too often in the Bay Area, people are still kind of like, they're not really afraid. They're not really sure of committing. And like you get a lot of flakes too. So, it's like,
yeah. Why do you think that is? Like, why do you think people just ghost? I hear that, like, I hear that's a huge, not only in the Bay Area, but like a lot of my friends go through the same thing too.
Is it also similar in LA? I mean, I know it's going to be a little bit different, but.
So like I don't use any of those online apps, but my roommate or like I just hear around like from my friends that a lot of people ghost. It's really hard to date. It's hard to find quality type of people. Those are some of the things I hear. I
mean, we can go into like a bunch of the sociological factors that would affect that, but I think just like from a given standpoint is like people are just looking for like the best possible option, and you have an abundance of choice, especially like if you're like a girl and you're looking at a bunch of men. Like, I'm just going to be honest. I mean, I am a little bit red pilled. So it's like, you're going to pick the best guy out of all of those. Like, you're going to pick the alpha. You are going to pick the most confident. If he has a job and he's doing well and he can provide, I mean, I don't care what anybody says. Like, you implicitly are looking for that. And like, or you are looking for us to fill a void that you currently don't have. So it's like you have to meet one of those two things. Maybe you're not looking for a guy with a job, but you're looking for someone who is going to be able to give you comfort or give you safety. And like, it could be, like that's the thing. It sounds like shallow or whatever, but like at the end of the day, like really, when we think about it, what's going to create a long-term relationship is like those things. Like the values have to matter, and those things also matter too. Like I have not in my history, and I haven't been alive for that long, but like a lot of women I encounter have flat out told me, like, real talk, like, dude, if you don't have a job, if you're not like taking care of yourself, like, no, like you don't deserve this, and it's like, I don't blame you. Like, I mean, why would you somebody that's just like, okay, doesn't have his shit together? like so many men are like, just like, I feel like they're like kind of hopeless because they're just like, dude, I can't get women. And like, it's like, I don't do this. It's like, dude, get out of your room. Stop playing video games. Go work out. You don't have to be like jacked and like super ripped or anything. You just have to like invest in self-care and personal development. And I found that it's like, if you stop worrying about women, they'll just come to you. Like, that's arrogant, but like, stop worrying about women. They'll actually show up when you stop caring. It's because you care too much that they're not around.
Yeah, because like, let's be honest, like when you're really needy, like, dude, that comes off desperate, and there's nothing worse than desperation, that stench of desperation.
Well, it's also just like, who is the real person value here? Are you someone that's worth something? Do you value yourself? Do you really like that in all of the aspects that you are in, what you're pursuing? Is that important? Is that worth being with? That in itself, it's like, if you believe in that, like, you don't really need to chase women. You don't. Like, I don't really actively chase women, but I have women in my life. And it's not, I don't say that from an arrogant point of view. I say that from like I am sufficiently okay with where I'm at, and I know that I'm improving every single day, trying to reach a new level. That's the kind of qualities that will draw people to you. And maybe in this case, if you're trying to attract women, like, there are ways you can do that, but you don't have to like, I don't really think that you need to learn how to game. I also don't really think you need to learn I just think you need to learn how to be better, in terms of your sense of self, and then develop interpersonal skills, which I think is lacking these days. Like, how many people, like, when was the last time any of us like really like got on the like you get a girl's number? Did you ever call her? Did you ever call her and just have a conversation? Like, it doesn't. Well, no, I know you do, but like, I know friends that don't do that.
Yeah,
it's just like, it's not a common thing, but it's like, it tells you so much more about that person when we can eliminate as many of these barriers, and really get to know each other. But the thing is, like I said, I'll go back to one thing that I always believe in, that some people I follow also preach, and it's just like, just be the best version of yourself. If you be the best version of yourself, like, women will come. You don't have to worry about it.
That's like the only thing from Migto I really agree with, is just like, taking time, like, like, okay, take yourself out from chasing women and just work on yourself, man. I don't believe in the whole victimization of women and them being all our fucking problems and shit. But definitely like, you know, taking the time to really improve yourself, work on your own shit, man. And like, I'll tell you this, like, you know, every relationship I touched from, I don't know, I started dating maybe in 2005 when I was like 17. I was a late bloomer. And then all the way until my first year of pharmacy school till 2010 or 2011, every relationship I touched like fucking broke apart, because it wasn't like, as much as I wanted to blame them, it was actually my own bullshit that why like our relationships never worked out. And I was like at that point where I was like, you know what? Like, I'm going to stay away from any relationships for now, right? One day I definitely want to have kids. I want to get married. I want to do all that shit, right? Later. But I just constantly invested in myself, whether it was like books, a business, or going on like to seminars. People thought I was fucking crazy, but you know, like, it's been one of the best times of my life, like just working on myself. And like you said, like I never really actively chased women, but they somehow come into my life because I'm always constantly bettering myself, you know?
Exactly, 100%. And I like that you mentioned the whole like MGTOW aspect. Of course, I'm not going to say that we're not suggesting that neither of us here are MGTOW, but like the whole aspect of like just focus on yourself, like become better, and like also something really simple, which is like value the things that you need to value and cut out the excess. Like, I think that that's something that's like so simple, where it's just like, cut out what's unnecessary. If that also means toxic relationships and people that you don't need to spend your time with, you could fill that with like making money or building wealth or like developing yourself. Like, just do that. That doesn't make you inherently MGTOW or like a sexist or whatever. It's just like, oh, I got better things to do with my time. And if you happen to enter into my space and complement that, great. If not, then that's okay too. There's another guy out there that can do that, and vice versa. But like, that's the thing. The nice thing about being, I am red pilled, but I'm not like immersed in the manosphere. It's just like, you're just content. Like, women don't piss me off anymore. I'm not frustrated if a woman like ghosts. I'm not frustrated if a woman flakes. I'm not frustrated if she like acts a certain way. Now that I'm more understanding, it's just because it's like, okay, well, that's just what it is. And I think that too often, a lot of where the toxic masculinity comes from is just like an inability to grasp what the reality is. So the reality is sometimes the woman just will not like you because there's just a better option out there. You have to accept that. That's not a defeatist attitude. You know what that's? It's a call to action to work on yourself, buddy.
Take
like, freaking start grinding. Why don't you the gym? Why don't you start reading more? Why don't you learn how to make new? Why don't you even just develop a better sense of self instead of blaming women for all of your problems? Like, what I don't like are like the MGTOWers who just like troll women and just like hate women. It's like, why do you hate women? Like, what did they do to you? I think you're the one who has problems here, not them. Just do you. Just do you. I'm not even like worried about it.
Yeah, I get you. Like, I feel that way. I feel like those are half the people that are like shitting on Angela. And I was like, dude, Angela's this fucking sweetest girl, pointing out her heart to like the fucking internet, and these fools that just come on and just like shit on her. But let me ask you, like, how did your whole how did your whole personal like development journey start?
You know, I've always wanted to improve myself. Like, I don't think I had a moment when I realized like focusing on personal development is strong. Like, I think it's really young. I think it especially impacted me like my mom died. You know, it was kind of like I was 16 years old, and like I attribute that as being one of the many red pill moments. I don't think of the red pill as just in politics or in like navigating women. I think of the red pill as in like, that happened to you, so you're more likely to accept the reality around you. So what that taught me was like, death is real. Like, you can deny it all you want. It happened to you. It's going to happen to people around you. So accept it. So when you can accept something like that and and understand that that is a real thing. And plus I had a really, really great support system. My faith, I had my family and friends. Like, it was also one of those things that made me realize that like life is inherently finite. You might as well make the best of it. And it's like, I was 16 years old. So it's like, what was important to me at the time was not what I was thinking about now, but it instilled this idea of that, like, if someone I knew that close to me you know, happened to them, it's like, what does that tell me about life? What does that tell me about my relation with people? Like, what is the most important thing at the end of the day? Maybe the most important thing at the end of the day is to not improve yourself. And for some people, that's okay on them. But like, for me, it was this like drive of, okay, you know what? You're not going to be balling anytime soon, but what you can do is start working on yourself. And I also understand at where I'm at right now at my age is that like, I also have to understand that there is a good time, like it all happens in good time and good patience. Like too many of us want to be successful right away, that we actually like want to reach success. We want to reach the top of the mountain, but we don't realize that we still have a mountain to climb. Where I'm at right now is acknowledging the fact that I can't jump some of these hurdles, but I know I will one day. And that's like the disconnect. Because a lot of people, what stops them from like wanting to improve themselves is just realizing like, man, that's so far away. I'll never hit the top of the mountain. What I've fallen in love with is this. Like, it's like doing it even if like you get no results. Like do it even if it makes you feel like a loser. Like who cares? Like putting in more work, more time than anybody else. And the best thing about it is, do you get satisfaction from it? Learn to love, because like at the end of the day, if you had no success with it, would you still be doing it? And like the way that ties back into personal development is I've realized that there's just an aspect of bettering yourself that will allow you to better other people as well. Like, and that's just what I want to do ultimately. I think as people, we're just drawn to that. It's like, I want to add value to other people's lives. Yeah. But how can I do that when I'm still being short-sighted and I'm not really working on myself? Like, how can I help others if I can't help myself, you know? Yeah. It's the same, like, it's like the same, probably like the awakening that every self-help business person had. It was just kind of like, I just got to get my shit together. Like no one else is to blame. And no one else is going to do this for me except for me. Like I have to do this. I have to accept responsibility. Like, and even, yeah, you know that. And
the truth is, even if somebody were to do it for you, it wouldn't be the same. It wouldn't be the same because it would be like, once you had everything, you would lose it all in a second. You know, there's something yeah. So like for me, so gratifying. Like once you hit like this huge goal that you like hustle toward. I mean, I think about like my pharmacy journey. Like, dude, I spent 7 pretty rough years. I put my a lot of my social life on hold. I did all this sort of stuff. And when I actually made it through pharmacy school and I was holding that degree, like, dude, I've never seen my dad so proud of me ever in my life. But I mean, that's awesome, dude. That sort of stuff though is just like temporary too, because like dude, I swear within the next month it was like gone. I was like, what the fuck am I doing with my life? And that's when you say the process, man. And I couldn't agree more. Like fall in love with the process, not the goals, because there's always going to be more shit in your life, man.
You don't want to know why that is though, and I love what you said about like how, okay, if you got successful tomorrow, you wouldn't be able to sustain it. What we are doing right now, the two of us and a lot of people out there, and what everybody preaches, but not a lot of people will grasp, like only a smaller percentage of people realize, is like it's behavioral. Like think about the concept of getting out of debt for a second. Like if you're like $1,000 in debt, like making more money, getting a better job does not fix your debt. It's your behavior that's keeping you in debt. It's like you make more money, so you think you can spend more when that's not the case. The people that know how to like conserve money understand that debt is a behavioral thing. You are in debt because of choices that you make. And it's interesting because to pay off debt requires an investment of time and planning. Just like when you develop yourself personally, what you're really doing is develop behavior, which is why like for somebody who's an entrepreneur and really successful, them earning $1 million and them losing $1 million is exactly the same, because they know how to do it. And they also know that like all the steps to get there, and what's really happening at the end of the day, behavioral. It's like you are training yourself to be able to handle that, which is why like when people start saving money and up there and over the years they accumulate their wealth or whatever, it's like it doesn't feel any different because you've almost developed emotional maturity and the knowledge to be able to handle bigger things. Think of it like working out. Like, you know, it's like you don't start off benching 25. You start off at like, you know, however much, and then you realize that like once you feel like you can support more weight and your body adapts, you can support more. It's like, but you yourself realize that like that didn't happen, that didn't change. It's like, and I look at working out, like lifting, like a metaphor for life. It's like, dude, if I can do this and support myself on this, I am more likely to carry more burdens and problems in life and be able to handle them without buckling. I think that that's why the process is so important, is because it's supposed to be shitty. Like if it wasn't shitty, you don't have the responsibility or the mental mindset to be able to run a business. You probably will not be able to manage $1,000,000, much less 100 grand. Like if I got 100 grand tomorrow, I cannot tell you what I would do with that. I would say, oh yeah, I would save it. Bullshit. No, you're going to go and do something stupid with it because you don't know how to handle it. I can't handle it right now, but one day I'll be able to handle it, you know?
I'll tell you this. I know a lot of people that made over 100 grand because like my career, like pharmacy, most people made over 100 grand, right?
Yeah.
But what I realized is like, dude, their expenses go up. They don't reinvest the money. Like, it's just like, oh my God, it's like those, like you said, it's like those skills. You could either like develop those skills to learn how to make more money or like create those really bad spending habits that have you like deeply in debt, man. Further in debt. Yeah.
I mean, people who win the lottery lose it.
Yeah.
That's almost 99% of the time. You lose all of it.
Dude,
like,
it's so funny. I actually wrote an article about that, actually. About like,
yeah.
lottery winners. Dude, those lottery stories are so fucking sad. Like,
I know. They're miserable. I know what you're talking about. They're horrible. Just like,
yeah.
Man, that sucks.
Yeah, I know.
And that's the thing is like, how many lottery tickets did it get to the winnings? Because we all know what the odds of the lottery are, right? Like, you're more likely to get hit by lightning than win the lottery, which is like, I know that like is not a very good thing to compare it to, but it's like, I would imagine that lottery winners have been playing the lottery for years. So you have all of that like upfront investment. It's not investment, no. But say you do win the lottery. You learned nothing about investing just because you thought your chances were getting better every time you bought a lottery ticket. It doesn't get any better. That's the part about gambling that a lot of people don't get is like gambling is addictive, but what you think is that you think that every day you buy it, chances improve. It doesn't. Every day you buy it, your chances are the same. So it's like if it's 1 in a million, it doesn't mean that tomorrow's chances are going to be 2 in a million. It is at 1 in a million. Like that's what people don't seem to understand, which is why people unfortunately are slave to some of the bad habits that they have. And debt is no different, dude. You get so addicted. I am somebody who is a natural spender. Like I got myself out of debt, but like I know what it feels like. It's just like, and then I would get like really bad buyer's remorse and just be like, oh yeah, that was a dumbass purchase.
And I think there's a certain self-confidence or a certain, I don't know, how do I want to say this? Self-confidence or, I don't know, personal responsibility. Like, dude, when you put your money into the lottery, like a lotto ticket, right? Yeah. You're basically like putting your faith into some external factor which you can't freaking control. You can't control your odds unless you like, I don't know, cheat the system some way.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could take that money and actually invest into like assets. Either like, I don't know, start learning how to invest your money or start doing personal development. That's stuff that you put into yourself, and that's like a self-confidence issue. Like to me, that's why I never gambled in my life, was because like when I put my money into external factors, it's really telling me subconsciously that I don't have enough faith to make this work out. I don't have enough faith. Yeah. So.
Yeah, no, that was cool. That's good. Yeah, totally. Like, it's just like, think about like Warren Buffett. You think he puts his money into things he doesn't understand? Really? Like, is he that stupid? Yeah. Like, I know people think he's dumb for saying crypto dumb, but the reason why he thinks crypto is dumb is because he doesn't understand it. And that's okay. He doesn't have to understand it, but he puts his money in what he understands. So he is certain that it's going to grow. And I think that that's the disconnect right there. It's like you have this like, kind of like, it's like you put something in, but you don't get desired results, you know? And the reason why people will continue to do that is because there's no correlation, you know? And when you do end up winning with gambling, you're not winning because you worked for it or you deserved it or you understood how money worked. Yeah. You won it sheerly by luck. Yeah. And that's the dangerous part of it. And that's where like the unhealthy part of our brains like scatter and go, well, the possibility of winning must be that I'm lucky, but the reality is there's absolutely no like correlation between the choice that you make and you just got money. Like when luck is involved, it's just luck. It's coincidence, you know? So it's like you have better chances actually putting it into something else and losing the money because then you at least understand why you lost. With gambling, like you can't justify why you won. Like there's no reason for it. Yeah. You can't tell yourself like, man, I played 10 times, I won once. So, and then like people like explain to themselves like, why did I lose? Why did I lose? Like, forget it. You cannot reason with gambling. You cannot tell yourself that the next thing is going to allow you to win. The next thing, it doesn't work like that. Gambling, because it's sheerly based on luck, is therefore not something that you can even like explain why you lost. You could play with $100,000 and think that your chances are pretty good. and lose all of it. You may lose every single dollar of that. And that's the thing that's why gambling is like dangerous. It's just like, why would you gamble? I don't get it. I personally don't think I would do it. It's like, and I know I have an addictive personality, so I know that if I got that
Chinese,
first
bro.
swing of
It's
gambling,
in our blood.
yeah, that's right. It's probably a way to perpetuate the stereotype there. It's like, yeah, hold on to your money, sit on your money, don't spend it.
Yeah.
The 3 rules of making money is to not lose money. That's it. Rule 1, don't lose money. Rule 2, don't lose money. And the 3rd rule is, guess what? Oh, don't lose money. Just don't lose money.
Yeah, as you're talking, like, I'm just thinking about these, like, crypto millionaires, like, those people who, like, just invested in crypto, didn't really have to, like, they became millionaires overnight. And I think about the stories where people just, like, lost it. They blew through all that capital. And you're right, because they didn't have to invest into any sort of skill to acquire that wealth,
I promise you that not all, but most of those crypto people out there did not say, I understood crypto and that's why I became a multimillionaire.
Yeah.
And if you find someone who said, I fully understood what I was getting myself into and I became rich, I don't think that that's true, because some of the most, I'm not saying that crypto can't make you money, but crypto has been proven to be 100% speculative. 100%. So that tells you that what data are you basing this on than people's emotional investment in it, right? It's not something that's quantifiable. Like, no one can tell you that crypto is going to go up tomorrow, just like no one can tell you that it's going to go down tomorrow and be certain. And in fact, arguably, you could say stocks are the same way. No one can tell you that it's going to go up to, like, it's just not. But you can deduce from economic factors, from natural environment, from just the ebb and flow of how markets, and then you can make an educated guess.
Yeah.
Right. But with like crypto, it's like gambling. It's like, I'll be honest, the reason why I don't buy crypto is not because it's like, oh, it's too late to get into crypto. It's like, I don't understand it.
Yeah.
What the F? Like, what is crypto? Like, why would I just, you'd have better luck, honestly, just burying your money in the ground. Because at least you'll know it'll still be there.
Yo,
like with crypto,
maybe I should get Charlie Lee on this this call so he can explain it to you.
I'm ready to get pulled apart, like to get torn apart by crypto people. Like, I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Prove me wrong. I want this to be a great opportunity, but the reason why I don't want anything is because I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't understand it, so I'm not going to put my money there because I don't get it.
And I think I think too, like, it's really easy to get caught up with the whole shiny object syndrome too. Like, oh, crypto, that's the new shit. Like, let's jump on it. Let's jump into like affiliate marketing. Let's jump into different things.
Yeah.
It's easy to get excited with the hype, but you look at like people like Warren Buffett. They took one skill. He learned how to invest his money like into different companies and all that sort of stuff. And over time, like, wealth is just like one idea over like committing to one idea over time, right? Dan Locke says that, but it's really true. You look at all these people who just focus on one thing. It takes a lot of discipline, man. It's not easy.
Dude, I feel you completely. Did you ever watch that movie, Jiro Dreams of Sushi? That documentary?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's the word the Japanese have for it, which I really respect, is like shokunin or whatever, which is like master. And I know that sounds like freaking like woo-woo, like Japanese stuff, but like level with me. It's like the practice of doing the same thing every single day for so many years that you are a literal master of your craft. Like, you know everything there is to know about it. Like, that guy made sushi every single day for 60 years. But what I'm trying to get at is that this of doing the same thing all the time, that like you are unmatched. It's not even something that's comparable to just like what people think of you. Yeah. You are irrefutably great. And that's what I believe in too. And I think this is coming a little bit from the Asian perspective in that, like, if you do something 100 times, like, you may think that it's pointless, but like by try number 98 or number 99, you're going to hit a breakthrough. Like, you're not going to think about it for right now, but I guarantee you, like, say you make 100 omelets. Omelet number 98, it may not look like much to the untrained eye, but it's going to have something about it that is going to exceed somebody who just started making his first omelet. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like you can't quantify like that like, I know this is a romanticized idea, but that umami or whatever, like, there's another level you get to when you've put that much work in. Yeah. Like, for some of these people who can sell anything, like literally sell anything, they have people's character nuances down to a T. They can read people so well And they probably are also probably really damn good poker players too. Like it's a skill. Like I also think like this is weird that I'm segueing here, but like poker, I think is more skill based than luck. I know people are like, no, it's 100% skill based, but it's like it's that aspect that like you can get to that point where you just can read people. It's the same thing with sales. Like you make thousands of sales calls over 10 years, and like man, you're just gonna know yourself really well, and you're gonna know how people are. Like you're gonna be able to like just like understand how to handle objections and like
that's why I say like, dude, high income skills are transferable, right? Like for me, I took my high income skill of like pharmacy, not counting pills and shit. There's no high income skill of that, but the high income skill of like really the soft skills, being able to read if somebody is having a bad day, being able to see if people are going through shit or not. And I took all those skills, applied it to sales. It just worked, you know? And guaranteed, if you make 1,000, like if you're doing thousands and thousands and thousands of sales calls, probably you're going to be able to read people pretty fucking well. Could you carry that into poker? Maybe. There might be some transferability. It's better than doing nothing. But yeah, like that's why I focus so much on high income skills, man.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, one of the things that I really, really want to develop, which is what I'm trying to do, and I think people have already noticed it, is I want to be able to speak. You know what I mean? I want to be able to communicate ideas. And like one thing that like is already pointed out, but it's something that I do think about and work on is articulation. Like how to express ideas in a way where you understand it and you can be confident in it, you know? And also like, can you teach it to a 5-year-old and they can understand it? That's how you really know you can get ideas. And if you can do that, and you can do that not to one person, but you can do that to a room of 10,000 people, you just gave value to 10,000 people like that because you were your delivery was so good, the message went across. And for some people, that is in itself like the basis of like getting, like it's the same thing with bringing a product or service and solving a problem, right? It's the same thing as entrepreneurship. I want to like do that as a skill in one facet of my life with speaking. Like I want to be able to give 1,000 people the message and them go, I get that. That was, like that solved the problem for me. It may not have been tangible like a phone, like he sold me a phone or whatever, but he sold me an idea. Like, and it's not manipulation. It's just the ability to, like, I want that gift. I want to be able to develop that more. I think I have that gift and I'm blessed and I'm happy that I have it, but it's like, I want to develop that further. Cause I know I still have issues. Like I have a tendency to be written, to be wordy. But like, man, dude, I listen to some of these like Oxford University lectures of like different people, and they'll say they'll just pick the right words, dude. And they'll have pauses. They know how to talk at just the precise right time and say only what is necessarily, no more, no less. And that's like the level I want to be at, is when you can get so good that you know how to deliver and there's like no X. It's just like, that's perfect. It. Mic drop, you know?
Perfect amount. Like I still respect that.
It's like it's like making sushi. Like you can just make sushi perfectly every time you do it. You know it meets that master level of me. Because like when people sometimes, just to say one more thing, a lot of times people think like when you measure something is like when you can do it good once. Okay, now do it 10 times and do all 10 of those times meet it at the 100% level. It's like Six Sigma, you know? It's like,
Six Sigma. That's so funny.
Yeah, no, I'm serious. Like every time you do it, is it going to meet like all the criteria? It's going to be a 10 out of 10. Yeah. Or is it going to be a 10 out of 10 when you feel good? It's going to be a 6 out of 10 feel shitty, or it's going to be like an 8 out of 10 just because you weren't thinking. Mm-hmm. But if every time you do it, it's like close to perfection, that's how you know you've mastered it. That's called fluency, is when it's like, it doesn't matter. You are guaranteed to get this level of quality from me, whether it's what I am doing or what I am doing to help other people. Like that's, I think, what's lacking right now in like generation, honestly. It's just like, even with working, like, dude, if you don't want to be an entrepreneur, cool, man, but become the best that you can be at your job.
Yeah.
You can, like, strive for that. Be the best plumber you can be the best mechanic you can be. Like, and you'll be, believe me, if you become a master plumber, you will not, like, people, there's a misconception. Like, you'll make as much money as some doctors do.
Oh, dude, if not more, dude.
Yeah, so like, but that's what I'm saying. It's like, we don't think about that for a second, where it's like, it's more about the exertion of work and discipline every day, not you choose. People think, oh, go to college, get a good job, and then that's considered mastery because you went to school for it. No, it's not. Learning is not the same as knowing. That's a Dan Locke thing. Dan Locke said that. It's like, I don't want to learn, I want to know. You don't go to school to know, you go to learn, but you implement, and when you implement, you know. And I was just like, whoa, that blew my mind. Like, okay,
That's so
knowing
funny.
and learning are not the same thing. Yeah, it's crazy.
He's like, he always asks he always asks us, like, are you getting it? And the real answer is, if you say yes, you haven't gotten it yet.
Yeah, you're lying.
Yeah,
it's just
you're
like,
lying.
no.
It's always like you're in the process of getting it and understanding it more. But yeah, I feel the same way, man. Like, in everything I do, it's not only like through entrepreneurship and all that sort of stuff. Even through like things like lifting or jujitsu and stuff like that. Like, I feel like I see I see that process, man. That like art of refinement. Yes, like maybe I can't, like maybe my first day I could barely do an armbar, but through doing multiple reps, you just get closer and closer and get more consistent to a higher quality. You know? So you know it's really funny, you're talking about the art of articulating and stuff. Actually, I was watching, what's his name? Dinesh D'Souza or whatever?
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Dude, I was like, wow, that's fucking good, man. That's fucking good.
Yeah, Dinesh D'Souza is, he's also a conservative commentator, a policy analyst at one point, and like, yeah, that guy is, when it comes to like facts and articulation, like, I would put it this way, I don't ever want to be in a situation where I'm debating that guy. He would just like tear me apart. Like, once, just like.
Did that line drop when he was like, dude, are you willing to give up your white privilege? I was like, what the fuck? I was like,
yeah,
damn!
I watched the same video. Yeah,
damn!
Right. He was at Amherst University or whatever, talking to a student.
Yeah.
Oh my god, destroyed. I was like, man, I don't even know.
Yeah, that video has like about 1.2 million or some crazy amount, but it's really interesting. Yeah. Yeah,
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I watched that video and I was like, okay, that's a talking point there. Yeah. But that's the thing, dude, it's like the best for the best people are going to take from the greatest. Like, it's like Dan Lok, some of these people that I follow, it's like that whole learning and knowing thing hit me right here.
Yeah.
Cause I was not very good at school, but I was just like, I can execute.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to execute well at first, but I know if I do it 100 times, if I do it 1,000 times, I'm going to be that much better than when I started. And that to me is enough. I make big leaps and strides, like, dude, cool. But I don't care. If it takes me 100 tries, I'm going to get there. It's the same with YouTube. Like, if it took me 100 videos just to get to 100 subscribers, so be it. Dude, it's like,
that's the thing though that you have, that you're right about. It's just like, dude, don't compare yourself to other people. Compare yourself to your previous self. Like, where were you? Like, dude, where were you 2 months ago, man?
Like, zero subscribers.
Zero subscribers. Yeah. But if you're gonna compare yourself to fucking I don't know, Gary V or some shit, like right now, like you'll always feel like shit, man.
Yeah, but also like, look at like what you have accomplished, what I have accomplished. Look within yourself and realize that, man, even just the start of this year, like, some bad shit went down, but like, dude, there is a whole world out there. And like, here's the thing that Dan Lok also preaches, like, and a lot of people do, by the way, it's not just him. It's like, these people have this childlike faith that like things are going to happen if you put the work in. It's not childish, childlike, because childlike implies that you don't care. Like, okay, perfect example. When you're 5 years old and people ask you what you want to be and you're like, dude, I'm going to be king of the world. I'm going to be president of the United States. It's like, who the hell is he? But 5-year-olds have the biggest egos on the planet because they have childlike faith. The whole point is to not lose that. Because the rest of the world just brings you down. By the time you're 13, you give up on the things that you cared about as a kid because everybody told you couldn't do it. Or somebody else got better than you and you just felt like shit. You felt inadequate. Yeah. Like, there was an amazing talk. I don't know who gave it. It was just like, man, people don't grow up. They grow old. That's the thing. It's like to retain that, like, that sense of humility and that like childlike faith. Go for it no matter what, because like when you're 5, you don't care about what other people think. You have the big ego on the planet. As a matter of fact, I think your ego actually goes down as you get older, become more insecure. Well, this is just my theory, but it's like, think about it. Like, most 5-year-olds, like, I'm going to be an artist. Like, everybody is born an artist. The reason why people stop drawing is because one day they realized more than other people and then they stopped doing it. But like, for that guy kept going, for that guy that had that mindset where it was like, I don't care what people think. And in fact, why does it matter? It has no bearing on me. all that matters is what's in my world right now and what lies ahead. Dude, you can't stop someone who has a mindset like that. Which is why when there are kids in school that are not doing well and they excel in one thing, we should be telling them to keep going. We should tell them, hey man, this is not stupid what you're doing. Keep going. And maybe you won't see success in a year. It might take you 10 years to fully realize it, but like who cares? Like if it takes you 10 years, man, as long as you get there or are on the path to getting there, you'll realize that that's more important. Like, so that's what keeps me going, you know, is that I have this, I think you share the same thing too. There's like this optimism, even if things are shitty. Like, it's just like it.
Yeah. I get you with that because like, I sometimes feel like, you're talking about the whole like artists and whole like being a childlike, I forgot how you termed it, but
childlike faith, like having childlike faith.
Yeah, childlike faith. And I look at my life like whenever something shitty happens, it's like, dude, that is the time where you get to rewrite the story of your life, man. Like it's like choose your own adventure type of book or something, and you just gotta figure out the next step. Sure, that like I feel like a lot of people when they run into any sort of obstacle, that's where the story ends. And that's a shitty ass story, man. No one wants to tell that. No one wants to be remembered for that type of story, man.
Yeah, dude. And the thing is, like, there's really nothing wrong with understanding that bad things are going to happen and that they may even throw you off course. As a matter of fact, the next thing I wanted to get your opinion on or talk about is like the aspect of failure, dude. Like Dan failed 13 times before he was successful, right? But like, what do we look at failures of the world? We kind of go, dude, he failed. Like, he ain't worth shit. Like, he's like not going to be successful. And that's the problem with how education and feedback is administered right now, is the fact that like making mistakes is bad. Avoid mistakes at all costs. Like, people need to fail. They need to know what it feels like to fall flat on your face when you try to run. You need to know what it feels like you need to know what it feels like when things don't go your way. As a matter of fact, if you're bratty, you're probably not. I get that businesses may fail. You might have your first venture and that might tank. Have your second venture, that tanked. For that guy, 13 times. Like, I probably would have given up. But like, they were all learning experience. Time number 14, he realized all he had to do was tie his shoelaces. So it's like that metaphor, you know, it's like, oh, the first 13 times you weren't wearing your shoes right, or you weren't learning how to explode out of the blocks. So you fell over and you failed. The 14th time you tied your shoelaces right, you exploded out of the blocks, and then you hit that buzz, and you just like hit the ground running, and that was all it took. And then he's still running. The race isn't over. He's still going, right? That's how it's just like, oh, I forgot my shoes the first time. Oh, I didn't know how to manage money. Oh, I forgot my cleats. Like, it's like, I think of it like the sports analogy where it's like, nah, dude, just start over. Just do it again. Like, what bearing does it have except for like how you feel at the end of the day? And if like you feel like giving up, I mean, that sucks. But like, nobody is putting you down. And don't care about what people think. Like, we only live to please other people, and the people that are successful they don't even live to please themselves. They live for better expectations. But if you can guarantee this, they don't live to please anybody. I don't care. If you're a successful person, chances are you ask them this question, they're like, no, I wasn't trying to please everyone. That's a guarantee. They stopped caring about what people thought.
And,
so
and here's the thing, they stopped caring about what like a lot of people I see, right? They stopped caring about what people thought because they saw a bigger purpose than within themselves, right? They were serving a greater purpose, right? Yeah, man, and I'll tell you this, like, dude, I've eaten a lot of shit this year, man. Like, dude, this year has been one of the roughest years for me, like emotional wise, business wise, like, dude, it's like I always tell people, like, it feels like I'm drinking out of a fucking fire hose right now, like.
I love that analogy.
Dude, it's like that, but it's through those like ups and downs. Like I always learn a lesson though, and those are, you know, surprisingly, we're pretty like humans are pretty fucking stubborn, and that's like the best way to fucking learn. And as cliche as it sounds, it's like really true, and you don't really get it until you actually go through that fucking journey, you know. It's like I have to say, like, you know, I was, if I were to be completely honest with myself, like if my dad didn't pass, if I didn't lose my job, if all that stuff didn't happen, I don't think I would have ever like pursued this journey of entrepreneurship at all. Like truly, like I was always interested in it, but I don't think I would have ever had the guts or been ever ready to just leave. That would have never happened to me. And I'm so like, it's kind of weird. I don't wish my dad died or anything like that, but it's like one of the best gifts that like my dad gave me. Like he gave me that extra push to like, hey, you know, remind me like your mom, right? Remind you that life is finite. You only have so much time. And
100%.
Yeah.
I can relate to that 100%. You hit the nail on the head because, man, I know how you feel. It's happened to me too. So
like,
it's
who am I trying to make happy? It's obviously not myself, right? It's not myself because I'm stuck in pharmacy and I didn't really like it, you know?
Yeah.
And so I started, like, that's why I really relate to FU Money so much with Dan Locke, was because it's really about living life on your own, by your own means, man, on your own terms, you know? And it really helped me find like my why again. And I was just like, you know what? This is totally illogical. I don't know what the fuck is going to happen, but no, I'm not going to go back to pharmacy. I'm just going to try to figure out things as I go. I don't know if it's going to work out. I don't know what's going to happen, but I have faith in myself, like the self-confidence in myself that all these years that I put in developing myself, that I can figure out anything that comes my way. And, you know, like, and if I can't figure something out, I have the ability to ask for help and be resourceful, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, that's the thing, man. I admire your perspective you had. And I think one day, hopefully in the near future, I'm going to be in a similar situation in that as life choices and journeys go, like the concept of employment where it's like self-employed or am I working for someone else, that's going to challenge me to some degree because like I have the mindset, like I know for a fact that I don't know what I'm getting myself into. No one does. Like until you take the dive off the deep end, it's like you don't really know what it feels like to just be washed away in the tides. Like you just don't, and you have to learn how to swim, you know? So it's like, man, like the training wheels have to come at some point, but you don't really know what that feels like until the training wheels come off. So what I'm like relaying to you here is that I'm probably going to go through a similar experience where I'm just like, okay, this is going to tank for a second and just have to figure it out. But like, let's also look at it from the perspective, like think about how blessed and how fortunate we are to be in the places that we're in. Like,
it's not like we're gonna fucking die or anything like that.
Yeah, it's not you're gonna die. Like, I'm not in a war zone, dude. I'm not in some country that is totalitarianistic and that government's just trying to like mess with me, take all my money. Like, dude, even if nothing worked out, I am in a place right now better than 90% of the world's population, and I would say 50% of America. Like, I am blessed. Like, there's no denying that, which is why, like, sometimes help offset where we're at. We have to put things in perspective, you know? It's like you said, the why, and it's like you got to look at things, and it's just like, is it really that bad? Like, if I lost my job tomorrow, I would be crushed. But then it's just like, I mean, I can only say if it's like, would it really be the end of the world?
Yeah.
No. Yeah. I mean, it will like it, but no, like it's not.
Yeah.
Relatively speaking, no.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's definitely not in the end of the world. And I think like as you're like, when you go on your journey, I don't know I want to ask you what you think you're going to be doing, but when you go on your journey, like, dude, I think the most important thing that you can do is practice gratitude every single day, like being appreciative of everything that you have. You know, like you said,
dude.
We're in such a better place than like, dude, imagine if we were born in fucking North Korea, man. Dude, China's over here, North Korea's over here. We could have been like, our family could have been over there, man. Wrong part of the world, totally fucked. It's so crazy.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
but to answer your question, I mean, like, obviously we talked yesterday, like, that's, like, my next step, like, kind of doing what it is that you're doing. And, like, the thing is, like you said, like, that the skills that we learn is not going to just be specific to one thing. Yeah. The idea is to look at it, like, obviously a step away, but, like, a stepping stone into what I could be learning, you know? Yeah. So, like, man, like, I know I'm at in life. I know I'm still young. I know I have a ton to learn. And like, I'm going to come, hopefully, at least from a self-reflection standpoint, like in a year, and realize that, like, oh wow, you are completely different now. You know, a couple of years from now, I'm going to be a completely different person. But I need to know that I have to make the right choices, the right steps to get to that point. So, like, honestly, man, the next few months is going to look very, very different. I mean, like, I don't know what's going to happen, but like, my life is like changing, like, right this moment, and it's like, maybe it's Man, my biggest fear, I'm live right now, which is cool.
Yeah.
This is better than View.
Yeah.
It's better than Good Morning America. My biggest fear is not fully realizing my potential. Like, honestly, like I can say like not making money and like getting evicted, at least being on the path. I mean, I may not fully realize my potential, but not feeling like I could have made something of myself that was completely my own and could help people doing it. Because right now, where I'm at, I'm 1 foot in. I'm not completely my own yet. I'm just 1 foot in because I've had a taste of, I've seen it with YouTube. I've seen like what the possibilities are, but I haven't fully jumped in. And that to me is scary. But the worst fear would be to turn back and find out that it's too much for me and never fully realize like all the possibilities. And that can manifest itself in like depression. Like sometimes feeling like you're inadequate. My worst fear is slipping back into depression and slipping back to a bad, unhealthy state that I used to be in, because I know that there was no peace there. Like nothing good came from that.
Yeah.
And nothing, the worst part is feeling hopeless, right? Nothing good will come because you feel hopeless. So you're in learned helplessness where you don't get any better because you feel that way.
Yeah.
That is like the worst part. I don't think it'll get to that point, but I do have that fear. And that fear can come from not making decisions that I feel like I need to make, you know? So,
You want to know something?
yeah, what's up?
Those thoughts have actually come up with me personally. Like I used to think about, I wouldn't say suicidal thoughts. Like I was never suicidal or anything like that, but more like suicidal ideation. Like what would happen if I was like gone? Like I guess like it comes like this thought comes like when everything is going wrong, especially like it's always like in a chain of events. And everything is just like shit. Like I said, there's low lows and some of my lowest lows ever. And I think like, man, like I really don't want to go back to pharmacy anymore. Like that's something I don't want to do. Like no matter how much anyone paid me, I don't want to go back. You know, those are the thoughts that I have sometimes. You know, and I'm very like, I can see why like there's so many fallen bodies for entrepreneurship, because it takes you into some dark places sometimes, places that like no one, like I feel like it's not, everybody sees the like glory of entrepreneurship, like they see the Gary V's and stuff, but they don't see people at their very, very lowest. It's a really dark place, man, and it happens to people, you know.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's relatable, and it's nice that you're sharing this, because you know that's going to happen. But what about you know, what gives it to light is that not all entrepreneurs are cut from that sort of cloth, like what we see in Gary Vee, Randall Pitch, or like Grant Cardone. It's kind of just like some of the most successful entrepreneurs I've come across personally, small business owners. Yeah. A dude who owns like his own shop. Like he's a mechanic and he does really well. He's probably balling hard, but it doesn't seem like it because he's like, okay, I have a garage and I open 2 more. Yeah. And he's doing really well, but it's like that the appeal of it was how in control of his life he was. He literally produces, adds value to people, and is his own boss for it. It's not like he produces, gives it to whoever he's working for, and feel like he's a stepping stone for someone else. Like you're in control. Like, and it's like it's entirely what you produce. And don't get me wrong. I mean, it's probably gonna suck. You might have low, like you said, very rainy days, lows and stuff, where that's the case. But like, it's not glamorous, and it's okay if it's not glamorous. But this guy was so peaceful. He's just like, dude, no, I own 3 garages and I'm a mechanic, and it's like, but I've mastered my craft and I just do my own thing now. And it's like, man, he's doing well. Like he's just at peace. He's free. Like I have that. Like it's like with me, it's not the Lamborghini. It really isn't. I don't care about that stuff. I don't care about trips to Dubai. I don't care about that stuff. I want freedom. I want to like just like do my own thing.
Yeah, I get you. And here's the thing. Here's the second part, man, which I didn't tell you too. Like when I do have those moments, I think about like I ask myself like, hey, have I been here before? What happened last time? I started taking action. I started not taking on the biggest thing, but the smallest things. And I'm just like, Kevin, do you want to rewrite the story again? And every single time, I haven't said no yet, you know? but that's what keeps me going because I don't know, maybe it's that childlike belief, you know, that you're talking about before. I always think about my life as a story, and you know, you can use your stories to either like defeat you or really inspire people. And I think about like all the people like who are watching right now, like, dude, I think about all the people who watch me and listen to my stories, and I just think about like, dude, if I quit right now, there's so many people I'm letting down, and it's almost selfish for me to just like give up at this point. You know what I mean? Because I know like there's a lot of people, not only in pharmacy, right? They don't like what they do every single day. The thought of doing a 9 to 5 fucking kills them. It kills them, dude. And if I can document my journey, provide some hope, you know, like that's gonna inspire so many people. I don't even give a fuck about like having millions of viewers and stuff like that. Like that's cool and stuff if I ever hit that milestone.
Yeah.
But the thing for me is just like even if I can change like one person, that's who knows? I might have created the next Gary Vee or something, or someone else very like who's huge themselves, you know?
Yeah, dude. And that's a new feeling. I agree 100% with everything you're saying. And that's a new for me too, is because we both can say this right now. We're both in a position of influence. Like whether we feel like it or not, tune into our content. And it's like, I like that you said that. It's like, I feel like I have this, I can help. And like, that's part of also what keeps me going on YouTube is like, it's not just about me anymore. People have an expectation. Like I gave them my word in exchange for their views. It's like, no, like, and not like real, but like, it's like that idea that it's like, I owe it to these people. Yeah. These people like take time out of their days to watch my videos. The least I could do is deliver on my part and help someone out, you know? Yeah. And I feel like that's the interesting thing, especially for you and me, where it's like, you can speak on this because you have an audience. Yeah. You have people that depend on you for help. You have people that depend on you putting out content regularly. And, you know, it's like, I know it's just YouTube. People are like, who gives a shit? It's just YouTube. But like, no. It's about honoring consistency and commitment. And those are values that you need to I think, to cultivate genuine relationships with people and business relationships. Like you need that. Yeah. You need to be able to acknowledge that and to, like, what if you take on a business partner or whatever, which some people would disagree with, and you just have a shit relationship with them? You got to find a way to make it work. Like, it's like you owe it to that person to some degree. Now, some people would say that's a bad idea, but it's the same thing with an audience. It's the same thing with helping other people. It's like, no. My service here is to help you. My service here is to get ideas across. So I'm going to honor that. And that almost like encompasses like whatever kind of shitty day you're having. So it's like if you're having a bad day or like you're having just like a horrible, horrible day, it's like at the end, what keeps me going is like, well, I owe it to these people. It's not about me anymore. It really is not. It's not about me anymore. I have a job to do. And you know what? Like, that's the funny thing about it. It must be the same deal. It's like, dude, like, pharmacy.
I think for you too, like, honestly, like, sure, you do like political commentary and stuff like that, but the real value you add is like for that person who feels that they don't have a voice in the world, they feel connected. That's the real value you add. You know, like you're getting all these people that think alike and making them feel like they're not fucking alone. You know, I think that's the real value of your channel, honestly, man.
Yeah, dude. I appreciate you saying that. But it's like, it's nice to talk to like another YouTuber about this. Like, it's real. Like, cause like, I mean, like, not that I don't talk to other YouTubers about this, but like, it's a different game when your life is somewhat public on the internet and like, you know, people something, you know, like, and that's the position of being in your position with entrepreneurship or just being a social influencer in general. Like, I hate that word. I really don't like the word social influencer, but it is what it is because with like even 1,000 people tuning into your videos at some point and you generate views and it's under your name and you're one of those people that like, there's something about like you use your name. It's not a moniker. It's not a brand. It's Kevin Yee, you know, like Kevin Yee, this guy on YouTube. And then you have other like that is like a realness. There's like Kevin, the guy who lost his dad. Kevin, the guy who's the pharmacy guy. He's also refugee. He's also just this guy who interviews people and blogs. Like that's like I feel like you're in a position where like at least from my perspective, you almost owe it to people because already you've connected with these people on this. And it's like, people expect that from you, you know? People want that. People And I know at the end of the day, a lot of people will say, like, dude, if you can't keep up with, stop doing it. Like, just forget about it. Stop worrying about other people. Worry about yourself.
Yeah.
But what if part of you actually is part of other people, where you feel like you just want to do it, and like stopping is maybe a result of depression or stress, but not because you wanted to stop. It was maybe something else came into your life. And I think like when you told me about like, man, you get into a dark place with entrepreneurship, I feel like maybe you can disagree. Like, do you feel like because you feel like you owe other people something, or because you feel like you could be helping other people, that's what keeps you going, not just necessarily like, man, I'm feeling shitty, so I'm just going to stop. Like, enough of a reason to stop.
You know what's pretty funny? Like, the thought of wanting to stop has never crossed my mind ever. I don't know what it is. Like, I've never had that urge. Like, my dad always said I had a special gift, right? I sucked at I was really bad at a lot of things. But he was like, Kevin, you're always willing to try, and you're always willing to try over and over and over again. And I think my dad was like sort of right, because like, I don't know, like, sure, like maybe some weeks I have like on and off consistency, right? Or maybe for a month.
Yeah.
But like long term, like, dude, you bet your ass I will always be there, man. I will always like put out content. I will always be a content creator from now on, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, quitting has never ever crossed my mind. How about yourself? I know you're pretty new into YouTube. Like, has it?
You know what, man?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's gotten easier, dude. Like this. Like, now I know that sounds weird, and I know I'm still new, but like, I'll tell you this: week 3, hardest week ever. It's with like if you're going on a cut when you're like lifting, or it's like there's like week 4. It's not like day 3 or 4. That's easy. The first week is whatever, because you're like fired and you're like, oh yeah, dude, I'm motivated. I'm gonna make videos. I'm gonna do this every day. It's not. It's when it starts to feel like shit at week 3 or 4, and you're just like, I made 20 videos in a row every single day. Now it's starting to suck. Now it's like, I'm out of ideas. I feel like I've solved this hole. I don't know how to reinvent myself, whatever. And it's like, it's the same deal. It's like, I feel the same way, but I don't feel like stopping. I just think, I don't know, maybe just do something else. And I did take a break for a while. I did videos over Labor Day weekend. That was the only break I've had. Other than that, I put out videos every single day. And it's just, I feel you. Like, I know that because I feel that way, but it sucked at one point. I'm probably going to hit another plateau. You know, it's probably going to happen maybe in 6 months or maybe in 6 more weeks. But right now, it's not that hard. Right now, if I feel like I'm in a healthy system or a healthy habit where it's not interfering with my life much. But who knows? Like, all it would take is maybe a little adjustment where, say I up the a little bit more and I'm not able to keep up. That's when it would get difficult, and I would have to bring myself up to that level to feel where I'm at right now, you know? So it's kind of like, that's why I'm not super ambitious with my videos. They're not pressed. They don't have all crazy editing, because it's like, I know I can't keep up with that. I'm telling everybody right now on the internet, like, that's the real talk. Like, how are you going to make a video every day if it's got so much editing?
It's hard to. And I think that's one of the things is like, dude, like when people try to overcomplicate things, that's how you fuck up. That's how you break the momentum. Like, one of the biggest like things that got me consistent on YouTube was just like, you know what? Fuck it. Maybe I'm going to be like Casey Neistat and just fucking like vlog every single day for like, and I did that for like over a year, and it got me really consistent. It was just so easy. Like, I would just be at work and just like slap some videos together. And sure, maybe they weren't high quality or my best videos, to be honest with you, like completely transparent. Like, they probably weren't my greatest videos, but it got me into that mindset of like, oh, I can do this every day if I really put my mind to it, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure you felt like that.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like you can make little adjustments where you slightly up the amplitude, you know, you slightly make it. But I think the hard thing is when you set the bar at an unrealistic standard. And this also happens when you don't really know how you work. Like, I've been on YouTube before, and I've failed a few times. I've told you this. I failed a few times before I now found my stride.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, and this is another YouTube I quickly shout out, which he's probably not going to watch this, but it's, I don't know if you're familiar with, Roberto Blake. He's like that guy that is graphic
guy, right?
on YouTube. Yeah, he's great. And there was one video, and dude, he's really freaking helpful. Like, I'm just going to say that. Like, he's really helpful. There was a couple of videos where he makes this like, how to get your first 100 subscribers on YouTube, how to get your first 1,000. And he makes a video like that every year. So there's always like a 2017 edition, 2018 edition. Yeah. My biggest takeaway from one of his videos that really helped me, and that's where I'm at right now, where it's like, dude, it's YouTube. It only needs to meet an acceptable level of quality. acceptable. Now, you can define it however you want, but to assume that your audience is going to care that you have drone shots, explosive titles, fast transitions, like, do we really give a shit? Like, no. Like, especially in the beginning, like, nobody cares to have a DJI Ronin. Nobody cares. So don't worry. As a matter of fact, nobody even cares that you have a camera. Yeah. Use your iPhone.
Yeah.
And if you get 100 subscribers from using your iPhone, you're doing something. You're doing something right. Your content is good and it's authentic. Like, and to any YouTuber out there who's watching this, like, Kevin can also testify to this. You need fancy gear. Like, I'm living proof of that. And also, you can start in 2018 because I did it. Like, people thought YouTube was dead this year. I don't think that's the case because I'm an exception to that law. And so many other people are too. Like, it's like people thought 2010 was the best time to make videos. It's like, no, today is.
Yeah.
Today is the best time to make videos.
Bingo. I agree with you 100%. You don't need fancy equipment, but I'll tell you this, man. Buying fancy equipment, that's a huge wealth trigger. Yeah. That's a huge commitment to yourself. Like, let's say, like, you know what? I'm Zach. Fuck it. I'm going to buy a $2,000 rig, man. That's cool.
Okay.
When you got skin in the game.
Yeah.
That is motivation right there.
I have to confess something. In an old YouTube channel, I shot videos on a 5D Mark III, and I had the worst buyer's remorse because I bought with an L series lens. So I've had gear before. Now I shoot on this. I'm revealing it. This camera is RX105. I make all my videos on it. I used to use a Panasonic GH4, and that's actually, if you watch my first video ever on the current channel I'm at, it's shot on a GH4. So it's a GH4, and I shot on a Canon 5D. So I've had like $5,000 worth of gear before, and I realized, like, oh my god, I'm not getting anywhere with this, and I had the worst buyer's remorse, so I sold it. I didn't get a lot of money back, but it was the fact that, like, I felt like, it's almost like when you buy more gear, you feel like insecure that you need to make better quality, and it's just like, cut out everything, go back to basics with it, like, do the Casey Neistat thing where he's just like, when his A broke, he just used a Canon Rebel T3i, like the entry level, and the videos looked exactly the same. So I was just, that was like a wake up call, like, but okay,
Zach, you gotta be real though. Yo, how much is the RX 100? Okay.
Okay, it's $1,000.
It's $1,000, right? It's $1,000.
Yeah, I
know. You didn't
use
your smartphone, but I'm just saying, yes, you could,
but it was the minimizing of it. You're right, and the reason why is because it shoots in 4K and that kind of thing. But like, the honest, it's like a Canon GX7, which is the Canon version of this with the flip out screen. Like, you need the screen so you can look at yourself. But like, a Canon GX7 for like $500 or
that's my camera.
7X.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, nice. Like, that does the job just as good, probably arguably even better, because the thing that I hate about this camera is that the batteries die in 10 minutes. I'll be shooting a YouTube video. Notice why I don't have videos longer than 20 minutes. It's not because of the memory card. It's because the battery will fry itself in 20 minutes.
Which version do you have, by the way? Like, which
105. V105. Not 6. The 6th version is out. I have the version 5, Mark 5.
You got that 1.8, man.
Yeah, no, and it does everything I need it to do. And this is literally my only camera now. I used to have like a GH4, Canon 5D Mark III. I think at one point I owned a 70D, and this was like college, and it was just like, okay, probably not going to be able to make videos at this quality. And it's like, I mean, I loved it, right? Like the 5D, the whole low light thing, and it's like the Canon's like prime camera for like 5 years from like 2010 to whenever.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, like so much pressure. And my videos were shit because I didn't understand how to use, I wasn't using the gear to the best ability.
Yeah.
So I just went back to basics. I was just like, all right, I'm going to sell all that. So I sold all that camera. I saved some money and I went out and bought this guy. This guy's been with me over a year now. And dude, like, my next upgrade is going to be like probably a Panasonic G7, like a $500 like mirrorless camera that, is okay. And that, like, I'm now it's like I went back. So now I'm slowly upping the quality, just like slowly, but don't go into it guns blazing. Like, I need a drone. I need a stabilizer. I need a gimbal. Like, you need that stuff. And a lot of YouTubers, like even my cousin was like asking me about YouTube and he's like, dude, I just bought like a DI, like a drone and stuff. I'm like, okay, like I need $2,000.
Dude, stock image it. If you really need a drone shot, fucking stock image that shit. Like, don't buy a drone. Fuck that, man.
I also know a friend that's a full-time, like, drone pilot. Like, teaches people to fly drones, which is, like, apparently a thing, because drones, I actually take more skill than most people think. People, they're going to be, like, getting all those, like, really smooth, like, city shot. you need to practice. And that's what I think discourages people, is because they buy a drone, they think they're going to get that smooth, like, freaking horizon time lapse, like, over the buildings and stuff.
Yeah.
Takes, dude. Flying a drone is not easy.
How'd you get into all this, like, video stuff? Because I didn't know that, like, this is kind of new to me that, like, you have all this, like, baller equipment, man.
No, dude, I took a bit of film in college, so I was a film for like a semester, and like I didn't major in that, but like I took some of that, so I invested in equipment. I actually made a short film back in the day. I did film, I did some legit film stuff, but like I was not patient, and my goals, my eye wasn't there, and like what I wanted to do wasn't aligned with what I was currently doing at the time. So like I just like having all of that gear and not using it actually felt really bad. Like when you have a gear and you know you're not using it, like that's the worst feeling ever. And to make good stuff because you have all that gear is also like something that doesn't help. So like it's like you almost get like a pass. Like your YouTube videos can be shitty because you're only using an iPhone. Like I know that's an excuse, but it's like if you're starting good, use your iPhone. I promise you, no one's gonna hate you as long as your content is good. An iPhone is acceptable.
For sure. I think it's like people overrate the equipment and stuff like that. Honestly, like you're right. You could I could shoot like a pretty good video just using an iPhone, especially nowadays. Like the iPhones are like really, really pretty good now.
They're great.
Yeah, man. But although like what's really funny as you're talking about equipment, I'm just like the only reason why I use this camera right now is because I can like get good quality for like streaming. But I don't like it for anything else, man. Like the autofocus for this G85 like fucking sucks ass. I prefer
GX80.
G85X, like the Panasonic, the one up.
Yeah, it's like the G7. It looks like the G, right?
Yeah. Honestly, it's overrated, man.
I mean, it's funny that we're talking about gear because like. I had a GH4 and now it's like if I got more gear, I would move up. I would just move up to not even a G85X, just a small up. And I've had like a full on 4K rig and it's like too much pressure. It's going to make me, I'm real talk to all the YouTubers right now, like buying more gear makes you more insecure. 100%, at least from my perspective. More gear makes you insecure unless you know how to use it.
More gear, like, more insecure. Gotcha. It's like, I get it though, because it's like that pressure that like, now they have good gear. You gotta step up your game. You can't have like shitty quality and stuff like that. I get it, man.
Wait, so actually, if you don't mind me asking, now that you're on there, like, what do you vlog with? Because I watched some of your vlogs. You use the Canon or you use the Panasonic?
Actually,
this is good. I don't see a lot of these gear videos on your channel, so it's nice that I'm getting it now. Yeah, dude, gear reviews are cool.
G7X, baby. This shit is like falling apart too. I dropped it down like look at it. It's like falling. I'm not sure if you can see that. Like it's falling apart.
See, the problem is, wait, you're using the Panasonic right now with that Sigma lens, right? So it's manual focus. Why everything past your microphone is blurry.
Yeah, it's like sucks, dude. Is it blurry right now?
It doesn't have autofocus.
Because it looks like pretty clear.
Yeah, because like the way you have your depth of field is like 100% in focus. Like you're really clear, but it's like if you get any closer to the camera, it's gonna be blurred out because it's all you have it focused. Like now you're blurry, and then like if you go back,
that's what I'm saying. Like, dude, this gear, like, I just wanted to fucking focus. That's the only thing I want, right? I should have just got like I would have been happy with a fucking 70D. Like with that crystal clear autofocus. I don't give a fuck about 4K. Like, dude, I don't want to deal with the file size. Like, dude, simpler is. I think that's the biggest thing too. Like, the simpler, the better. You know.
And plus, I remember watching one of your videos that you made, and like the whole video was blurry, and I was like, did Kevin forget to like focus his lens or something?
I did, because here's the thing, like too, like before I had this mic, like. You could always hear the fucking autofocus go off, like in the back.
Oh yeah, it keeps adjusting and stuff.
It's just, like, so annoying.
It's a horrible problem. It happens when you have non-native lenses, and that's something that like cameras need to fix. It's like you may have like a Metabones, or like you might have like a thing that like like an adapter, but like they don't. Yeah, but still, sometimes like you can hear if it's a non-native lens, you can hear it like working and stuff. Like I had an adapter for my Canon, for my GH4, and I was using a Canon 50mm 1.8 or whatever. And that thing would make so much noise. You could hear it like turning, like squeaking. Oh, you have the same lens.
Well,
yeah.
I don't know if it's the same one. It's the lower end one.
Oh, so yours is better. That's the more expensive. Yours is the 1.4, right?
No,
yeah.
mine's 1.8, I think.
Stop.
Or 1.
No, okay, that is. Yeah, there's another version that's like $300. That's like just one stop further, and it's like just for extra like more light that you can. You know what I mean? Like people pay hundreds of bucks to be able to stop lenses down like super low.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I used that same thing, and like the problem with it was the whole like the adapter did not respond well to the autofocus, and sometimes the camera wouldn't even communicate with the lens because I didn't have a Metabones. The Metabones is good because it's really expensive, but like I had a Chinese adapter where like sometimes the auto didn't work, and I shot like I think 30 minutes of footage and the whole thing was blurry, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, doesn't that suck, man? Like when you shoot,
I hate that so much.
That's why I was like with my Dan Loft video, I was like, fuck it, it's not in focus. I don't care. Good fucking enough. And it made me a lot of money like doing that sort of thing, you know? It's like crazy. Like, dude, sometimes, like, who gives a fuck? I get so much shit. Like, my audio was shit. Everything was shit that day. But, yo, I'm a fucking pharmacist. I'm trying to learn. I'm a one-man team. I'm just like, yo, I can't spend forever checking everything. And then, like, it gets me detached from actually creating good content, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, man.
Honestly, dude, I don't know if you've been looking at the comments, but, like, I enjoy talking. We should maybe, in the near future, like, do a podcast or something. Yeah. And like talk.
Yeah.
This is fun.
Yeah, this is hella fun, man.
Yeah, you're a good dude, and we have a lot in common, like, you know, similar backgrounds and shit. And this is really great because I found out about you through YouTube, and YouTube is great.
It's like very this was very organic, man.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, there's going to be opportunities where we can do more with that. I mean, I know this is just the first time we're doing it, and I'm your first person you're talking to, but dude, start a podcast. Like, I have been meaning to want to do my own podcast. I think that's like a secret desire of a lot of people who love meeting other people and conversing. And like, dude, just like shooting shit for like 3 hours is like fun. And the thing is, if you have engagement, like I did my first live stream, yesterday. I don't know if you saw it, but it's like, yeah, like, it's like, oh, okay, like, you know, I might even just make another channel just for podcasts, just for lasting, like, Google Hangouts and Skypes and stuff. Mm-hmm. And, like, my buddy O'Shea, who had a show earlier today, like, that's not all he does, but that's a big part of one channel is just a vlogcast. It's got, like, 24,000 subscribers, and all he does is just bring on. Yeah, like,
damn.
But I'm game to do something like that in the near future, so we'll keep that in our back pocket. Because I want to make it cool too. Like it'll be like, I've had a lot of ideas for how it is. Like we can do conversations, and it's like, because like podcasts are the shit now. And the thing is like there's not a lot of podcasts that are like kind of weird and kind of different. And like I have like a lot of odd ideas that are about like how I can make podcasts like different, like diving into things that are just kind of deep, but not like interview format. You know, a lot of podcasts, okay, so what did this, what does this, what did this, and they're all structured, right? Behavioral based podcasts where it's just like scenario and like we can make it fun because essentially like it's like reality TV, except like, you know, like it's like, oh no, we're just talking here. Like if the camera was off right now or whatever, I would still be talking to you the same way. That's
like, it's like
I just forget that there's people watching. Yeah,
it's like that documentation of like what's just genuinely going on. That's like the best content, honestly. I mean, personally, it's one of the reasons why shameless, like, dude, I feel so like embarrassed to say this, but I love Jersey Shore. Like, that is just like documenting their fucking life, but so fucking interesting. And yeah, of course they cut it, they like manipulate some stuff, but in general, that's like documentation. I'm like, damn, this is so fucking interesting. Dude,
so I don't know if you knew this, but a guy who did that so well as far as like podcasts and realness was David Cho.
Oh,
David Cho and Asa Akira. I know she's a porn star, but like, yeah, they ran a podcast called DVD Asa. Really? And like, I don't know what happened to it. Maybe it's still up, but it used to be on YouTube, and he would bring on like all these different people. And David Cho, kind of crazy, right? So like the shit that they would talk about would be like, this is insane, but it's so entertaining because David Cho, he just doesn't care. He just says what's on his mind, and then he has like Asa Akira. There was one podcast I saw where like literally the camera was just like on her thighs the whole time. It's so random, but it's just like dude, like, what are you doing? But it was like, it was abrasive. It was just like, this is like the worst podcast I've ever listened to. But it was so interesting because it was like real talk. Like, he just doesn't care. He says whatever.
It's that curiosity hook, man. You're just like, because he's so fucking crazy, what are they going to talk about next week? Or what angle are they going to shoot? Like, you know?
I mean, like, some parts of it were like hard to watch because sometimes he would bring guests on and like belittle them. Like, he would berate them like on a podcast.
Really?
But like, I'm not gonna lie, like, it was entertaining. Like, it's like watching Sway's universe and watching him and Kanye like fight each other. There's like an infamous video from like 4 years ago when Kanye was on Sway, talking about whatever, and he just turns up and starts yelling in the middle of the interview. And like, I don't know. That's what it is, but it makes for good entertainment. Like, I dig that kind of stuff. It's like, oh, anything could happen. Yeah, anything could happen.
Yeah.
Something to keep in mind, though, in the near future, we should set something up.
Yeah, cool. Dude, I think podcasts are, like, because I watch a lot of podcasts, too. Like, I watch gaming surprisingly. I don't even game anymore. I watch gaming podcasts, and I listen to Joe Rogan all the time, too. And I guess, like, I'm kind of close to Joe Rogan, you know? Like, I work out, I do jujitsu and shit. I can see Eddie Bravo if I really want to, and, you know, 9/11 podcast with, fucking with Eddie Bravo and Alex Jones, man. I'll set that up, man.
Dude.
Oh man.
I mean, like, I think podcasts are good. Like, I love podcasts. A lot of people do, and
like, what's stopping you?
It's good use of time, you know.
I guess what's the biggest hurdle for you to start your own podcast?
Just time, and I feel like I'm doing a lot of different things, and until like I can fully have ideas, because like I'm doing, if I did a podcast, I would want it to be somewhat regular, and I already do regular videos, but podcasts are great because like you get a wealth of a lot, and it's a different type of people who tune in where they just want to listen for like 2 hours. But like, man, like, I just think that it's something that I want to get into. I just don't know how, well, number one, I'm going to get better. I think this would be the time to invest in better equipment, would be like, get a microphone, get some headphones, like maybe set up the space a little bit. And then like, I would have to have like just a back line of guests or have regular people.
Dude, you have your whole Discord, man. You could even talk to them. Well, I don't know if all of them are qualified, but you know, like, you have like a whole wealth of people to talk to, man.
That's true. No, you're right. And the thing is, like, what I like is that you're the first one I have talked to, first person on YouTube that I've actually talked to like this that's not really political. So,
oh, really?
Like, I would love to other YouTubers that are not necessarily political. Like, I would love to talk to, like, you know, a fitness YouTuber that I follow, like Christian Goo or whatever. I mean, I know he's a whatever, but like that, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, or Bartman. It's just like, it doesn't have to be politics. It could just be this. Just like, hey man, I don't know you, but like, let's just talk for like 2 hours and what the hell happens. And that is fun. That's fun. I've always had like kind of like a mini goal of just like, dude, what better way to get to know people than to do it in live podcast format in front of other people? Cause like I've actually forgot there's people watching this right now. There are people watching, even if it's just like, well, I forget that someone is watching us talk right now.
So crazy.
Even though yeah, gotta get over that.
Yeah,
Damn.
like, I think it's really cool to, like, because I see my numbers, and actually a lot of my numbers, like, increase over the week because they're, I don't know, sometimes I think that the shit I talk about is kind of boring, in my opinion. Like, if I wouldn't watch my own fucking content, right? Real talk. Like, yo, I don't think I could listen to my own content, but, like, people are just like, dude, I just like listening to your voice, I like listening to your ideas, what's going through your mind and shit. And I'm just like, oh, that's pretty cool, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
no.
Dude, we're hitting 2 hour mark. Holy shit. I'm like getting tapped out. I'm like kind of hungry.
All good. Yeah, I'm probably going to go something else or read or work on tomorrow's video. But like, yeah, dude, this was a lot of fun. And thank you for having me on your Sunday cast, Sunday podcast.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome. Maybe I should like do this every single Sunday and have a different guest on instead of like.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you want to, and I mean, it doesn't have to be like off the cuff too. Like, if you need someone and you want to run something, just like send me a message, and if I can be available, which, you know, most likely I might be. Yeah. Then I'll jump in. Like, what I like about what some other podcasters do is that, like, even if you're not available, you could be talking to somebody else and then send me a link and be doing it live and can jump in. And that's what O'Shea does too. Is like, he sends them like Google Hangout links. Ooh. I know I'm learning from him, but it's like, yeah, and then it's people come into the podcast, into the live stream, and hop out whenever they feel like it. So it's like, you may go for 3 hours, but it's like you commit for 3 hours. I might just be like, Kevin, I'll jump in from 7:30 to 7:45, and then jump back in later. Like that is cool. Like I'll be honest, I'm stealing that from him. That's a really good idea. So it's like you have 5 people in a Google Hangout or a Skype or whatever, and it's like if not all of them want to be there, it'll be like hanging out. All right, I got to split. It's 8 p.m. I got to make dinner, and then they just leave. And then you bring somebody else.
Can you like I don't know if you know the answer to this question. I have to figure it out myself. But can you add multiple people via Skype? I was trying to just work. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the best bet would be Google Hangout. I feel like that's just the one with the least amount of technical errors. Skype is not very friendly with referencing. I know that. Like, I need to pay for something. I mean, you can do it, but it'll just be calls. There won't be video. But Google Hangout, it's like you can have like 10 people, all these screens, and like if you're the host, you can like select, mute people too, and like the way, like check out O. Jackson, who I was on earlier today.
Yeah.
It's like the way he's doing it is sustainable, and it's like even if the guy is not available, like bring someone else on, and then when he gets home, it's like, dude, your stream is still going. It's like, oh yeah, we're still hanging out, so why you just come on in and then leave. It's a good idea, and I was like, man.
Yo, but here's the thing, I don't want to drop to 720p, man. That's like I heard Google Hangouts, like it just like drops the quality down to 720p. I'm not bougie like that. But I'm like, dude, we live in 2018. We can do a lot better than 720p, guys. So,
I mean, that's up to the discretion of your viewer. Like,
that's true.
A lot of these podcast channels, like the quality is just whatever. Some people are on their iPhones. Some people are on their like Mac cameras or their Windows computers. They're not very good.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, like, okay, like you now have like the best quality like podcasting video I've seen because it's coming from it's not coming from a webcam.
Yeah.
And like, I think that like as long as your quality is consistent and hear other people, you could even make it so that it stays on you. And like, if people don't want to do video, they have their little avatar showing. Like that's fine. YouTubers do that, but the whole like, you don't have to come 3 hours. We can have a window of time where this stream is gonna run. And if you have nobody, you just talk for 10 minutes. And it's like, somebody else is jumping in right now. Let's just talk. That I think would be, number one, very like planning friendly, calendar friendly.
Yeah.
And like, it's also like, dude, it's not high pressure. It's like, you want to talk, we can. If you don't, that's cool too.
Dude, I already know a bunch of people that I could get on a fucking call.
Yeah.
I don't know like how many is too many too, because like I have a tendency to get too fucking excited. I'm like, yeah, you're invited, and then like 15 people are in the fucking room, all like.
Well, you can cap it out. Like, only send the links to say like 5 people, and like, start off there, and then like next week have enough people, and then if a couple of those people drop out in the middle of the call, I'm sure the people who want to be on the call are also in the live chat. And that's what O'Shea does, is send them Google Hangout links. And then, like, something in the last 10 minutes of the stream where somebody else feels like giving an opinion, they just in for 10 minutes and then jump back out. Like, I think, I'm like, that's not a bad idea. Like, that's really, really cool and pretty friendly.
Like, really interesting, too. Like, oh, shit.
Yeah, it keeps it fresh. It's not, like, just me and you. It could be other people as well. So, something to think about and something to consider for the near future. And if you want, like, I don't know, somebody else to jump, I'll jump in, know, from where.
Dude, I'm still down for that. I'm probably going to try to test it out, like, next week or something like that. And just throw a bunch of people fucking on and see where it goes. If it sucks ass. At least I tried. I'm down to make mistakes and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh my god, I have the comments. This guy, some of these people have stayed for quite a while. That's commendable. Because people are in and out.
Can I see who? Let me see who else is in here, man. Dude, it's so weird because it doesn't go through my live dashboard, so I can't see like the comments or like I can't see like who's in here or anything like that. But
well, what I have to do is go to your actual channel right now, like go in Chrome, your YouTube channel, and like read it from there, and like watch our own stream as we are doing it. So,
can I even watch my own stream from like my phone?
Probably. I mean, you'll be able to access the chat because it's going on right now. Oh, I'm gonna give it a like. Here, I'm gonna do that.
Oh yeah, so I see it. Oh fuck! Shut up. Okay. Cool. I'm just gonna shout out these 9 people, which I can't even. No, I can't do it. It won't tell me your names. Oh well, guys. You 9 people that stuck it out. This way. Zach's channel. I'll leave a link below. It's Zach Hing, right?
Yep. Real simple.
Yep. So subscribe to his channel. And yeah, if you guys like
and subscribe to Kevin's channel if you're from my community. Subscribe to Kevin's channel. Kevin's the real deal. And may not be very political, but guy has some really good, genuine content, really down to earth. So you'll like it. You'll like his content because you like my content. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, and let me know if you guys like Zach as like a regular and stuff. That'd be really great to know. Anyways, guys, we're gonna head out. Thank you again so much, Zach, for like doing this last minute, like literally 3 hours on the cuff. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, dude, anytime. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Later, guys.
Bye. Wait, are you scream or are you
Nope.
just stopping the...
I just stopped this. I just stopped this. The whole thing. That was pretty cool, dude. That was really fun.
Yeah, dude, that was a lot of fun. I really thank you for a lot of fun. I'm glad we talked for like 2 hours because that was really productive. And man, that was good. Let's see, dude. But I think that if you want to do something, it's like I don't mind. Because again, I'm on consistency. I just have to find a schedule that works. If you want to do something like this, let's think about it, brand it, think about it, and then like, I don't know, let's just open up another YouTube channel where we can host, and then we'll just bring random people on, like, and grow it that way. And I mean, like, we could always do it on each of our channels, and I think we could still do that. But like, I think the way channels can survive and also more out there is if they are also on different platforms, you know. So like OC does a great thing because he has a channel just for blogcasts, and it's kind of like, in a way, anything can happen. Not so serious because it's just a separate channel just for 3 hour long podcasts, you know. And it's got like 24,000 subscribers in addition to the 50,000 he has on his other channel. So it's just like, yeah, dude, I'm just like, I think we could grow something interesting, and it doesn't have to be politics too. It can just be like,
yeah,
pressure, just like bring on, and it's like, people are going to listen to it just because it's going to be interesting. And like, they don't have to always listen to it. That's the key thing, is that it's like interactive. And I think if you put it forward in the chat where some people who have been contributing and commenting feel like jumping in, like, I mean, what a wonderful opportunity for them to hop onto a live stream with people that they follow or people that they are subscribed to. Like,
yeah, I've always looked for it. Like, I was always thinking about doing something like that, you know?